Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-optional podcast. You're doing that on purpose. Why are you making yourself even blurrier than you were previously?
What do you mean?
Oh, that doesn't help anything.
I don't know why it's so blurry, though.
I'm not sure. We really don't know.
Great questions of today.
It's just, everyone else is fine. It's just randomly someone goes blurry for no apparent reason.
Pretty much every time, right?
Yeah.
There's always a blurred person. It's Skype. I blame Skype.
Yeah, it's mostly Skype. Tends to be what happens. Well, at least we can hear you clearly.
Skype is the worst.
Got no problems hearing you, but yes, hopefully that will clear up. It actually cleared up about 5 minutes before the show and then went even worse afterwards, so that was lovely.
Oh.
Just lovely.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Just gotta roll with it, guys.
Apparently.
It's live. You gotta roll with it.
Jesse, stop pretending to be frozen.
Oh, boo.
You're not funny. Nobody thinks you're clever. Nobody.
Boo.
Not at all.
Oh, no, you always have to look stupid, though, like.
Yeah, because then otherwise people can't screen cap it and upload it and lols on the tumblers and such.
It's true.
Yep.
I imagine
That's basically all my life is.
Lols on the tumblers.
Trying to make lols for the tumblers, yeah.
Balls on the tumblers.
Yes. Welcome to the Co-optional podcast. We occasionally talk about video games. We, of course, have a special guest, as always, who, I might add, has one of the cooler-sounding last names, I've got to say. Sizemore.
I agree.
So, have you ever considered pornography?
Whoa.
Just asking.
Wow. Welcome to the podcast.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a good name for that.
But better than Jesse Cox, or not?
I was about to say.
I feel like Jesse and I could do like we should go into the
together.
business
Is that what you're saying?
This?
Is that what you're
We should go into the business together.
What?
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
It's not a euphemism.
I'm flattered.
Only
I'm
if you want it to be.
I'm flattered. I'm just saying. I'm
Look,
not
it's all
saying
up to you how you want to take this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna turn you down. I'm just saying, it's unexpected. It's just
Yes,
it came out
Jesse,
of
how
nowhere.
do you want to take it?
Down.
Apparently.
Produced by Jesse Cox, directed by Luke Sizemore. I can
Oh,
just see it.
it has to be like a Cox Sizemore joint. That's what we'll call it.
Sizemore and Cox.
Coxmore.
Sizemore Cox.
Cox
Yeah.
size. Cox size. That's our.
Either way you spin it, it works. Like you could literally.
Cox size.
There's so many options.
Yep. Make a fortune.
And that's our guest today.
Yes,
Welcome.
that was the
Oh,
intro.
hey.
That's explained nothing. Luke
There we
Sizemore,
go.
a.k.a. Yungtown on YouTube, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm really excited to be on. I've been a fan of all you guys for quite some time. So it's a big day. It's a big day for me.
What?
I'm
Get
going
outta
to be
here.
honest. If I recall correctly, I recruited you to Polaris some time ago, and then I completely forgot you existed. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
If I can be
Yeah.
honest, I recruited you to Polaris some time ago, then forgot you existed. I just want to point that out. That is only TV.
We haven't talked by email in many, many months, and
Yeah, no. It was really crazy. It was like really out of the blue. Like my channel was I still think it's essentially nothing. But I think I had
hey, your
like,
latest video's over 100k views. That's more than what Jesse gets, so I'd say that you're not nothing.
Yeah, it's more than what either of us get.
No, yeah, and then all of a sudden, I remember the video that I worked on. I spent like forever on it, and I was like in that zombie mode where you just edit, and I was
Yep.
like, all right, let's see how it does. And then a byproduct of that, I get a message from TB here, and he's like, hey, you got a decent thing going. I was like, oh really?
Dude.
I was like,
It was the
awesome.
top 10 games. It was the top 10 captivating songs in video games is the one that I think I stumbled across. And also the video game reviewing training review video. Which is the best
Yeah.
title for a video I've seen in a long time.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SpongeBob parody one. Yeah, that one was really fun.
Indeed. Oh, yeah.
Bunch
Yeah.
of music stuff, right?
Yeah. I do some raps and parrot. It's a weird thing. Like I'm envious of you guys. You guys have like such a cohesive thing going on. Like you do like a set number of things, and I'm over here like, what is it that you're supposed to do?
Can I ask you a question? One
Go
of my
ahead.
favorite videos of yours is you mention video review tropes. What kind of tropes does TB do? I imagine he has a lot of them when he reviews games. How bad is he really? Be honest.
Man.
Be honest. He already recruited you. He can't unrecruit you.
I beg to
Well,
differ.
He can kick him off the podcast.
How awful?
I don't know.
How awful is TB?
You would have to go past a pretty it's a fairly high watermark to get kicked off this show. It takes a lot of
That's
effort.
true.
Only one man has
only
ever
happened
managed
once.
it.
Only once.
That was quite the
Yeah,
one too.
Let's all
Yeah,
flashback and reflect on that.
Okay, so TB's tropes.
Yeah.
I don't really know when I think of when I talked about the video game reviewer trope video, it was more so directed like personality based reviews.
People that actually do
So you're saying he
reviews.
has
I
no
don't do
personality,
reviews.
is what you're saying.
No,
John,
I see.
You heard it here first.
Don't call
Youngtown,
it a
John
troll.
TotalBiscuit Bane has no
No.
personality.
This is terrible. I'm like put into a corner from the
I know,
porn
that's
to
what I'm
now.
saying.
Let's
You
talk
gotta
about
just-
TB.
Cox has put
Just
Sizemore in a corner. All right, okay. All right.
Oh God. No, yeah, it was more directed at the AVGN like JonTron like people who
Clones?
all they do is
Yeah.
clones like.
Oh
dude,
god, I
does
remember
anyone-
years ago when the cloning started happening. I mean, Irate Gamer's probably the most infamous example of that.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Is there a happy
You know
like
who you
can I
are.
can I make that review? Like
That-
extremely happy gamer.
Yeah,
Like,
there's loads of
this
those.
game's the best.
Yeah, I mean, when it initially started, because AVGN basically like set the groundwork for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, he did his stuff very, very well. He edited properly. He was good at what he did. It was very much a personality-driven review, and it had the retro sheet going for it and things like that. Then there was a bunch of copycats of that. Infamously, Irate Gamer. Strangely enough, JonTron started as a copy of AVGN deliberately. He tried to copy AVGN and then branched out very fast from there and became his own thing. But then you had that backlash where everyone's like, I'm going to be the happy video game nerd. The happy video game nerd's a real person. And then there's like, oh, happy reviews and classy reviews. And it's like, I'm going to take some aspect of my personality and spin its own thing going there.
How many reviewers out there are angry? There are so many.
There's quite
just,
a few.
There's
I mean,
like
obviously,
angry-
Angry Joe. But Angry Joe's like the most relevant, I would say now.
Yeah. I mean, there.
I think his relevancy is only because like it's weird to see who becomes relevant based on how like he blew up very quickly. There was a time where
But he'd
Joe
been working for
not many
years.
people-
you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like not many people knew about him, and if this was 2 years ago and we would have said angry people, I guarantee someone would have been like, that Angry Joe, he's just copying X person. But now he's the main guy and everyone's copying him.
Yeah.
So it's real funny to see how things change over the course of time.
Yeah,
No cynical Brits though. No fake cynic. I'm gonna do that.
There's
I'm gonna do.
loads of people trying to knock off my style or whatever. It's,
Happy Brit.
yeah.
The happiest Brit. I'll be like,
The jovial Brit.
What?
irate Brit.
It's like mood, nationality.
Angry
you know?
video game Brit. Where are you guys? Come on.
angry video game Brit. Yes. Just take all of them and then steal JonTron's video style. Get like a raven, and you're done. Get a pet
Oh.
raven, and you're done.
Add some
Just
kind
a
of pet
hamster,
to the scene.
like a really tiny hamster.
Have you guys seen that though? There are. I have seen reviews who get the stuffed animals and they literally duct
Why?
tape them on their shoulders.
That has to be the most sincere form of flattery. If I was John, I would literally be like, I am a god. Like, these people are basically like, I just want to be you so badly.
Do they even
That's
take the time
fantastic.
to like put the glowy eyes on there?
I doubt they have the budget.
But they're like they're not lined up right. So it's like
Oh,
it's like
God.
moving around.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
oh,
it's like
even
kind
better.
of pulsing. Like
Oh
yeah,
dear God.
it's absolutely amazing.
It's just beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
How did we start talking about this?
Well, we introed Mr. Sizemore.
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
then
That's
we
right.
got
That's
into the whole thing of why I found his channel in the first place, which is that video. It's a video that certainly everyone should go watch because it is very entertaining. And then it reminded me of Irate Gamer. And I'm gonna be sorry. I gotta be sorry, guys. I admit this right now. I did watch Irate Gamer before I watched Angry Video Game Nerd. I eventually I eventually saw the light, but
yeah, it was. I was in the same boat, but I think it was because of where we were watching, probably compared to where Angry Video Game Nerd was, I guess.
Yeah, most of this because we were watching on YouTube, and a lot of AVGN stuff didn't get put on YouTube till much later because he was he was basically under Screw Attack and game trailers for the longest time.
Yeah.
And he's more regular on YouTube now, so it's better to watch his stuff. But Irate Gamer was on YouTube, and to be fair to the guy, even though he basically knocked off the format to the point where he stole points and everything. There's a big comparisons. There was a massive drama fest over it. But his production values were okay. Yeah, like he had some decent CGI effects for the time. I mean, this was like in 2008. So there wasn't really much to compare it to.
It's hard to be angry with copycats when they still put a ton of work into each video.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Still, you're doing a lot, man. Like, I gotta hand it to you. That's a lot of work.
The same thing's done though in like movie reviews online and things like that on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
like everyone copies like if you watch, for example, like Jeremy Johns, you've seen every video of everyone who reviews movies. Like it's that same like I'm doing really quick sound bites and then we're gonna edit it all together and then we're gonna throw pictures. Done. It's like, oh, okay then, congrats, you're doing more work than I do, so shit, I can't complain.
Honestly, I think it's just indicative of the problem on YouTube where there's like millions and millions of creators and actually getting noticed is so hard that like I cannot possibly get noticed on my own merits. I've got to throw some gimmicks in here. I've got to ape something that's already popular. Yeah. I watch a channel called Cinema Sins, and there's a channel that's called Cinema Trailer Sins, which is exactly the fucking same format. It uses even the same design and everything. It's a deliberate copycat, and they do it on stuff like the reason I stumbled across them is because I found one for Catching Fire, and I mistook it for CinemaSins. Like, oh, CinemaSins did one Catching Fire. All right, so I went there and I was like, hang on a second, this is not the same in any way. Like, it's terrible product. But yeah, you can catch people out that way, and they've got a lot of views that way as well.
Oh yeah.
And we actually, the week you were off and Krender was here, we actually talked about, like, I was flipping a shit because I was like, oh, no one gives a damn about, like, Marlo Briggs and stuff like that. And I was like, it's weird that a lot of people complain that everyone makes the same stuff, but the same stuff is what people watch.
Exactly.
And what do you want us to do? There's a reason why there's 12 billion Happy Wheels videos, because people watch that shit. Like, that's... It's not our fault. You're the ones who want to watch it. When we try to branch out and do something different, like Marlo Briggs gets 13,000 views. Like, what the fuck you want from me?
Yeah.
Like, I tried something new and you didn't care. So,
yeah, which is weird because Marlo Briggs is
new.
extremely, I think, is an entertaining Let's Play game because it's kind of like all right, it's a game it's average, but the plot is so fucking funny and stupid that it's worth watching just for that. And it's one of those games that if it was PlayStation 2 era, people would be saying it's one of the best games. Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Which is mind-blowing. There's a scene, I was telling Dodger before, that there's, when he gets his ice spell and ice rains down from the sky, he literally yells, "Oh, sleet, sleet, sleet." It's hilarious. Like, everything about that game is amazing. And it's like, no one cares. And it's because it's not, it's a little clunky and it's a little stupid, but... So is a game like Happy Wheels. It's a little clunky and a little stupid.
Yeah, but
it's just popularity-wise, it's,
Yeah, the reason people watch Happy Wheels videos is because of the whole rage idea. It's like, oh, I want to watch some rage. Flappy Bird videos got popular because apparently Flappy Bird rage is a thing. We'll be talking about Flappy Bird later, but...
I certainly hope so.
Oh, yes.
Because there's some drams we gotta talk about.
Unbelievable. eBay. Oh, God. We need to talk. It's
ridiculous.
Let's save it.
Yeah, we absolutely will. Yeah, we'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the show. I should point out, by the way, we're going to make a slight format change. Not too much, but because we're on Polaris, and it kind of makes sense, we're going to be tying our news into what's covered on the Daily Bite. Sounds like a good idea.
You mean we don't have to ever research anything?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Oh, damn it, you've uncovered the plot. Fuck. It's like, yeah, exactly. We're going to let Polaris do most of the works.
Works for me.
Yeah,
Look, you can just watch every episode of The Daily Bite Monday through Friday on youtube.com/Polaris.
Yeah, so that's the thing we're going to be doing.
Advertise like a shameless
This
whore.
whore, absolutely. I don't know, the whole idea is a little bit strange, because if I look at the stuff that, let's take your channel as an example, because, you do Let's Plays pretty much all the time. There's a ton of views on your Broken Age stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Which is weird, because people watching Broken Age basically just spoiled the entire game for themselves. Yeah?
Yes.
But you could you could justifiably play Metal Gear Rising or Marlow Briggs after watching you play it, because it actually has enough gameplay in it to justify you picking the game up and playing it for yourself. I don't
understand it. Same thing with
Broken Age doesn't,
Oh, what the hell was that? My brain just died. David Cage, Beyond Two Souls. Same thing with Beyond Two Souls. That, like, every one of those videos says over 100,000 views. It's like, if you watch this, you are spoiling the entire game for yourself. And I think that's what people enjoy, because they don't want to have to buy it. I don't get it.
Well,
then people are also like, I bought the game because of that.
We were talking about that when Krender was hosting as well. We were talking about how, depending on your channel and what people expect from you, they'll watch certain videos. Like, a game like Marlow Briggs, that's super weird, I would probably get tons of views on, because my viewers love watching me play super weird stuff. Whereas for Jesse, they love watching Jesse play really story-based things that have a lot to them, because Jesse gets so invested in it.
That's true.
It really just depends on the person who's playing.
And the biggest example of this, if you want to see big channels and how it relates, because it relates to everyone. Everyone suffers from this, and it's about decoding what people want to watch. Go look at our dear friends, the Yogscast. When they do Minecraft videos, several 100,000. They, in the past couple weeks, have done Diablo 3 videos, barely 100,000.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
The days when I am beating Yogscast is days when they, I'm like, whoa, that should not be happening.
It happens to everyone. It's very strange.
Well, the thing is, I'm okay. You know what I like, though? It's the idea that you're doing the games you want to do. Because from a business standpoint, you say, why would you ever do Diablo videos as the Yogscast when you can make more Minecraft videos, people are watching it? Because they fucking wanted to.
Right.
And they're in a position where they can afford to do that. And for God's sake, they've got, like, Yogscast Play Sorcery Live. They even have one. And I love this, by the way. They did a fighting fantasy book. I told you about Fighting Fantasy before, those game books. And they had an artist kind of draw it as they went through it, and they read it out. And it was fucking brilliant. And actually, that one caught on really well. They got like about 350,000 views an episode for that. But if you compare it to what they get, as you said, for Diablo, Minecraft, like 3 weeks ago, 98,000 views for a Diablo video. 98,000 from them is just nothing.
It's about doing what people want to watch, and it's unfortunately for me, I don't really care often. I'm like, I'm gonna play this game because I kind of fucking want to play it, and so I'll play it, and no one will watch it. And I'll be like, you know what? I learned some lessons here, but I'm still gonna play whatever I want.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good mentality. I've always wondered, when you have a channel that's based solely, I guess, in like gameplay and personality, like how much pressure there might be for playing a certain game just because it's what people want to see.
That's all it is. Yeah, you're constantly. Yeah. When scary games are a big thing, you're like, all right, how many scary games do I play? Because people are going to want to watch those. And when Minecraft's a big, I know for a fact that EverQuest Next Landmark's going to be a big YouTube thing.
Absolutely.
It's going to be huge. And I know that I can easily jump on that bandwagon, and I probably will make a few videos. But the problem is that I don't know that. I'm not the guy who's like, I'm going to build things. I'm the guy who's like, I'm going to get people to build stuff for me, and then I'll look at it. Like, that's much easier. Like,
like a contractor.
If you could make a sculpture of me in EverQuest,
then I'll make a video of that. Then it'll be on the internet.
You are a horrible person. Like, that is slave labor. That's what that is.
God.
It really is.
Maybe
someone's going to spend thousands of hours.
Sell it on EverQuest later.
Maybe
and make lots of dollars.
Yeah, and then you assert your like rights for your image, and you demand like 50% of the revenue.
Like, look,
don't ruin this.
This wouldn't even exist without me.
I'm on the internet. Just tirades.
Lay down the blueprint.
Don't you know who I am?
I definitely think it's very easy to exploit some people to get them to make stuff for you, but it really is something of a dick move unless they're being paid for it. But yeah, the people will be willing to do that stuff. But I think about Landmark, you're right. But also on the subject of scary games and anything that's kind of a game of the moment, it's really hard to resist the temptation not to make a video of it. I'm a PC channel, but I was extremely tempted to do a 20-minute criticism of Flappy Bird because I knew it would get a bazillion views. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, though, because it's not a fucking PC game. Although I could now do the hacked clone of it, which is available on PC, Flappy Doge, which combines two things, which are very popular. To be fair, Flappy Doge has better art assets than Flappy Bird did, so there's that. Someone spent a lot of work on that Doge. I'll give him more credit for that. Anyway, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast. We occasionally talk about video games. Coming up on the show, we'll be talking about what we've been playing this week. That will be followed by news and discussion and releases and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, boy.
That'll be the show. Yes, it absolutely
and we're
will.
finally allowed to really get into Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
I
yes.
know. I'm so excited.
Finally, God.
Yeah, you know what was strange? So I have a press copy of Elder Scrolls, and I've been playing around with it a little bit. And you know what I then did? I decided to have a day off yesterday. Because I was just kind of burned out. Everyone here knows.
You heard all about this.
Oh, yes. Everyone knows Death by 1,000 Cuts. You know, it affects pretty much like every YouTube personality. You'll eventually, it's that one comment that pushes you over the edge. Like, fuck the internet!
I'm done for the day.
And it's just like a day, you just
there.
need a day away. You need a day away. And I played 10 hours of the Old Republic. For some fucking reason.
From the beginning, or did you have a character already made?
I still have my characters. So I rebooted my thing up. I downloaded the 25 gigabyte client, which was a bloody nightmare. And I realized, I left an authenticator on, and my authenticator is in the United Kingdom. So this is not going to help. So I called them up. They were very helpful. They got it all sorted out for me. But I discovered just like WoW, I don't know if you can do this in WoW now. Maybe you can, but you can't transfer EU characters to US servers, which is a fucking pain. So I'm like, damn, I've got... this was back in the day when I bought a collector's edition of Tor like a fucking idiot. I'm like, I really want to use my old characters because I had something like a level 20 bounty hunter and then 4 other level 11s that I'd gone through the backstory of, just like the starting zone. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to play, and I'm going to play on the EU server. Why not? And actually the lag's fine. But for some reason, every time a new MMO comes around, there's a beta test, I have the urge to reinstall an old one. And I think it's because... You know that 2 years down the line, an MMO is going to be way fucking better than something that's still in beta and full of problems. Because it takes years. It takes years to get an MMO into a good state.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest though. In Skype, when you typed in, I just played 10 hours of Tor. I was like, he can't be talking about the Old Republic. I literally went online and I was like, is there a new game with the acronym TOR? Because he can't be playing the Old Republic, and you totally were. That makes me so happy.
Yep. I played 10 hours of the Old Republic, and it was pretty good.
Did you play new content, or was it stuff that already existed?
The thing is, I never got through the main story, because I burned out in that game pretty fast, and I think something else came along at the time. It may have even been Guild Wars 2 beta or something that kind of put me off track with that thing. But whatever the case, I stopped a couple of planets in. So I started playing again, played some stuff on Nar Shaddaa. It's like, okay, this is cool. But the reason I reinstalled it wasn't to do that. It was to play Galactic Starfighter, which is their new thing. And I'm going to be honest, Galactic Starfighter is pretty good. And that surprised me, because I wasn't expecting it to be. So, for those who don't know what Galactic Starfighter is, they actually put a full-on Starfighter PvP mode into that game. But they didn't do it in the way that they did the space missions before, which was just... That was on rails.
On rails?
Yeah, that was Rebel Assault style. Oh, no. This is like playing World of Warplanes, only in space, yeah? And you get to customize your fighters. You can pick which crew you want, and each crew has there's 4 crew slots, and they've all got passive abilities, and your co-pilot has an active. And
Are they crew that from your
No, that's this kind of silly thing about it. It's you would think it would make sense to take your existing crew and have them fly a ship with you.
Yeah.
No, you get new crew members for that, which you don't interact with, which is kind of silly.
They're expendable, especially if you're on the dark side.
Oh, no, it's already weird that you're getting in a fighter when you already have a ship of your own. But you're flying around in a fighter that is kind of given to you, but you can also unlock different fighters and you can unlock different equipment as well. But it's not done through the currency system. You don't have to pay any in-game credits for them. You earn fleet requisition, which allows you to outfit your starfighter, but you earn in-game credits and experience for actually playing the starfighter game.
So then it's different from your ship. So if you're doing the
Yes.
on-rails things, you're doing an entirely different...
Yes, it's an entirely separate progression path.
Gotcha.
I
Alright.
don't know if there's any overlap. I don't think there's any overlap. But what I was impressed by is that there's actually a surprising amount of depth to it. So they've thrown a few TIE fighter elements in there. In X-Wing stuff, like you can reroute power to shields, to engines, to blasters. You can do that on the fly. You can reinforce your like forward or rear shields. You've got a hotbar with like 4 or 5 different abilities on it, but the actual aiming and the flying is all done the way that you would expect it to be. So you move your mouse around to turn. You can do like rolls, and you can also and you've got to aim everything properly. You've got several
So it's
different
like
kinds
TIE
of
fighter
weapons.
kind of, or X-Wing V TIE
It's
fighter?
third person. So it's like you take a few elements of X-Wing TIE Fighter, and then you throw in, say, World of Warplanes or War Thunder, or, even Star Conflict to some degree, and you've kind of got what Galactic Starfighter is. And you can queue for it while you're doing your main missions, and there's dailies associated with it and things like that. And, I don't know, it's just a nice little break from the regular stuff. And in theory, from what I can see, I think you could actually level a character almost entirely in Starfighter. I don't think
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's possible, yeah.
You could do that with the other thing, with the on-rails one. That's... when I hit, I don't know what level, I hit a certain level where there was just no quest to do, and I was like, what the? And then I just flew and got like 3 levels. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
Works.
it's all right.
Did you fall in love, TB? Did your character fall in love?
No.
Are you light side or dark side?
I'm dark side.
Of course.
Good man. Can I also point out, dark side has one of the best mission choices ever. One of the planets, I want to reiterate, I think I said this months ago, maybe the best thing in any game ever. You can bang the governor of a planet, then 2 quests later murder her, which is fantastic. I don't know why that appeals to me so much, but it's so good. I'm like, look, you were fun and all, but you gotta die. And it just feels so good.
Jesse the Contractor, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying, I
The
don't...
longer I know Jesse, the more I think he's deep down just a terrible person.
Pretty much. It
That's
certainly
what's
seems
coming to light over time.
To quote Anakin Skywalker in the 3rd Star Wars movie, that's not how I see the situation, or whatever the hell he said.
Top quality dialogue there from George Lucas. Excellent.
Oh my god.
Well done.
Not
well done.
according to me, they are not. I
I was
not
expecting
evil.
a Dark Knight quote.
I was
For the
expecting the
Star Wars
sand quote.
What would that have to do with anything? I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Everywhere. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. It's like,
Not like you. I'm not creepy at all, Padme.
oh, I try to forget that movie even exists where possible. Yeah.
Guys, we should do a marathon. Let's watch all,
Oh, I've done the marathon. I did it.
all the newer ones.
I did all of them in order. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we did the whole thing. And it was okay, I suppose, but it just proved it just showed how fucking terrible the first 3 were. So, yeah, that wasn't too much fun. That and Jedi tends to drag on, so having that be the last one is really quite painful. It's like fucking just end.
Do agree with that.
Speaking of movies really quick, Lego Movie, go see it. I know last week I talked about going to hit on single mothers there. Don't do that. By the time the movie's over, you'll be so emotional. You'll be like, what just happened to me?
Everyone that I know is like, I cried. I cried at the end.
Wait, the Lego movie?
What?
Yes.
Wait,
At the end of the movie, you'll be
that's
like,
what we're talking about?
what just happened?
Apparently.
Yes. Dude.
Really?
The last 20 minutes of the Lego Movie is like too fucking emotional. You're like, what? I came to see Legos. What is happening to me?
It was like when I saw the Muppet movie.
See?
I was like, the Muppets? I was like, what is happening? I keep seeing
get real.
tweets on about the Lego movie, and it's just like everything is awesome. And I'm like, I know they saw it. I know they saw the Lego movie, and I did not see it.
Once you hear that song, because they play it 12,000 times in the movie, the Everything is Awesome song will be in your head for days.
Is it like
There's like 8 remixes of it. Like every time there's a new scene, there's another version of that song. It's just like, holy shit. They
so
really
if they
want
were
you
to
to love
release
this.
an original soundtrack, it would just be Everything is Awesome
Oh
remix.
no, they have that, and there's like a Lonely Island version of the song. There's so many different. It's insane. Also, Batman has a song in that movie, which is the Batman
Sung by
song.
Will
It's
Arnett.
great. Yes, it's very funny. Yeah.
I will have
everything
to take
the
my
movie's
kid to see that
fantastic.
movie. It actually does sound like it might be a good time.
It's very, very good. It was weird. We felt like everyone was just like, what is going on? It was a lot. It was a lot to
Cold
experience.
dead heart.
Yeah.
Oh my. But yes, Old Republic. It's
Yeah, should we talk about a game?
yeah, we could do
I
that.
didn't
It's
feel,
all
I didn't
right.
feel anything at Old Republic. Old Republic made me feel my inner evil side, but other than that,
I don't know. I did find an excellent character that I like a lot, which is like the fat Twi'lek gangster who hangs around in the roughneck room. He's pretty fucking great. He's hilarious.
wait, what class did you play?
I play Bounty Hunter. Power Tech.
Oh. Fancy.
Which is pretty great because I went down the tree that just focuses on setting shit on fire, which is pretty entertaining. I feel like the Bounty Hunter and the Trooper are sort of the two. So actually, would it be the Trooper? Or maybe it's the Imperial Agent. I don't know. Whatever the case, the one that the class
Imperial
that has
Agent.
the class that has cover, and then the Bounty Hunter or
Smuggler has it too, I think.
Yeah, the smuggler,
has
smuggler
yeah.
and the agent. Those are like the four classes that feel the least like World of Warcraft, which I think is why I like them more. Whereas if you play any of the Jedi or Sith classes, like I might as well be playing WoW because the Sith warrior tree is literally the warrior tree. Like they just took it, they lifted it wholesale from WoW.
But the Inquisitor, then you can become an assassin. And then you get Force Lightning. Oh, it's so good. And the storyline, it's so good. And you feel like such a badass. You feel so... That's the one storyline where by the end of it, you were like, I am fucking awesome. Like, you feel deep down like, damn. Because even the good guy storylines are kind of lame. There's one that has, like, a really good ending. But most of them are like, see you in the expansion.
Well,
There's only, like, a
the
few
expansion
endings.
is out. I mean, the Rise of
Yeah.
the Hutt Cartel did come out. But
A while ago. Yeah.
It just seems like the game has more content in general. They've filled it out better, they've balanced it a bit better, and it's just like any MMO syndrome. You start off, it's like, well, this game is lacking in many areas. Then 2 years down the line, this game now has more stuff, so maybe it's worthwhile. Yeah, I don't know about the free-to-play model. I still think that's pretty shitty the way that they've done it, but I don't see any other way they could have. Because really, the free-to-play is basically a trial. It might as well be. The amount of restrictions put on you if you go free-to-play in that game is just a joke.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they restrict your hot bars, for fuck's sake. Your hot
Wait, what?
bars. Yeah, you can't... I think we talked about this a while ago when they first did the free-to-play announcement, but the free-to-play system in that game is fucking awful. It's... Yeah, let's see. So here's what happens if you happen to be a... I'm just trying to find the comparison list. Where is it? Free-to-play features chart. Here we go. So, under free-to-play, Emergency Fleet Pass. Alright, access the Emergency Fleet Pass started at level 10, bypass the cooldown by purchasing consumable item with cartel coins. That sounds okay, right? Fair enough. But there's some other stuff. So, you can't sprint until level 10, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. If you are subscribed, you can sprint at level 1. Your mount, you get restricted as to when you can get that. Where is it? It should be on like speeder thing or whatever. Because I could get my speeder at level 15. You can't get... you get your speeder at level 25, and it's more expensive. But there's some really weird stuff, unless they've changed this. GUI quick bars. You only have access to 2 quick bars. Fucking
What?
2 bars, which is not enough, I might add, to put all of your stuff on, which is just ridiculous. You cannot equip most purple items unless an authorization is purchased from the cartel market. It's like, are you shitting me? You can't equip epics unless you buy the right to. It's like, what? Yeah, there's like a big restriction on commendation caps, stuff like doing flashpoints. Yeah, you get full rewards from 3 flashpoints per week. You can unlock a weekly pass to unlock the restrictions. 5 war zones per week. You cannot access ranked war zones in any way. You can't do operations at all without buying an operation pass. I don't think so. You can upgrade to preferred status, which you spend $5 in the store, you get preferred status, which means you get a couple more bars and things like that. But I don't know. The way that they did it was just... But I subscribe to games, so I don't give a shit. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just silly.
Yeah,
It is
silly.
That's like silly, right?
It is silly. It's not really free to play. It's call it what it is, a fucking trial,
Yep.
That's basically what it is. Because trying to play without doing that, it seems like an absolute nightmare. But regardless, it's fine. I'm having a decent amount of fun with it right now. So I'll play a bit more Starfighter. There's a nice amount of variety to what you can do. So it's got a proper group finder and everything. Getting groups is pretty easy. PvP's okay. The Starfighter thing's pretty fun. Yeah. I'll keep at it. I'll probably get bored before 55 because it's an MMO, but I'm having fun with it right now. So, Yungtown, what have you been playing this week?
Not any MMOs, that's for sure.
Not the
I have a hard time. I have a hard time
What?
getting into MMOs. I have a hard time.
MMOs
I feel
are
you,
terrible.
Hey.
Don't.
Hey,
I feel you.
hey,
bump.
all right. Hey. Also, I'm
No.
on a Mac,
Okay.
so I can't play anything. You know what I'm saying?
Kiss,
But-
Mac heathens.
I know, right? But I've been playing old Splinter Cell games.
Okay. Which ones?
I've been playing. I've been playing through Pandora Tomorrow.
Fucking great
Which
game.
is the second? Is it the second one?
Second one, yes.
It's the second one I've been playing, and I've played through it like I don't know so many times, and I still love it, and it still stresses me out as I play it, and I still don't understand how a man can have all these lights illuminating from his back and still be considered in the shadows. Because every time I do the same thing every time I play it, I get into the shadow and I'm like, oh, they're gonna see my lights. They're oh, and then I take them down.
Oh no! That's cool.
Oh, they're dumb. Oh, they're stupid. They deserve to die.
It's like they're like light blind or something, and they're officially the most stupid AI. But it's such a good game. I don't know where Splinter Cell went wrong, but I haven't
played the
played any
latest
of
one?
the new. I have not. I heard it's like an action
It's-
game.
No, that's bullshit. Like, anyone that told you it's an action game is lying to you. It's got
That was
three.
my mom.
It's kind of got three different experience levels that you go for. There's like Ghost, Panther, and Assault or whatever. And Assault is full on murder everybody. And then Ghost is like sneak around and do stuff like that. But there's a lot of side sort of optional missions you can do in that game, which are entirely stealth. So I played a bit of. I would have played more Blacklist while I was on the cruise, and I decided, hey, I'm going to play some Blacklist. But apparently, don't do that because it wipes your fucking save file if you're not online. So that's
Really?
lovely. Yeah. So I wasn't exactly too keen with that. But I did a side mission on that, which was based on you got to go into a sea fort and hack a bunch of routers, whatever the hell you want to call them, and do stuff like that. But if you are at any point discovered, that's the end of the mission entirely. It's like full insta, like you'd lose.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And there's plenty of missions like that. It's just the main story missions. You don't have to be full stealth. It does help if you are, because you die really fast, even on normal. But there's like stuff like perfectionist mode and everything that I think, if you enjoyed the original Splinter Cell games, I think Blacklist is pretty good. It's just, I think the stealth purists don't like the fact that it's actually viable to go full on shoot shit if you're good at it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I really like the kind of zen state it puts me in when I play it, because it kind of freaks me out because I'm so worried by like each minute detail, like I don't know. I like the state of mind Splinter Cell puts me in. I don't feel like there's much other stealth games that put me in the same state of mind.
Metal Gear, old school Metal Gear does it for me.
Metal Gear. Yeah.
Where you just have to
Yeah.
be like, all right, focus, don't get spotted. And then you just
Yeah.
wait for like 25 minutes, like I just don't want to get spotted. I would never do a Let's Play of like a Metal Gear Solid game, because it'd literally just be me waiting, just like staring, like, all right, maybe now, no.
I love Splinter Cell. I love messing with the AI. Just going up the wall, going like, "Toot, toot, 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 toot. What was that? Toot, 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 toot. What was that noise? Knock, 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 knock. That's
They don't know
me.
what it
That's
is.
me.
They're
Metal
like,
Gear.
"What?"
I guess that means nothing. But yeah, Metal Gear. Yeah, amazing game, of course.
I'm really bad at those games. I just
I am too.
YOLO. I YOLO and I die, and then I start again, and then I'm more impatient than I was before, and I YOLO faster, and then I die again. It's bad.
Luckily, 4 really wasn't. It was a movie, pretty much. It was Metal Gear the movie. So really, you only had like 2 or 3 YOLO moments. After that, you're just like, yeah, but I don't.
It's a cutscene. I'll get some food. I guess.
I'll be back in 20. They'll still be fighting. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I think the new Splinter Cell reminds me actually an awful lot of Deus Ex in the sense that you can do stealth and non-lethal, or you can do lethal. It's all kind of viable, but you're running out in the middle of nowhere and just opening fire is not an option. It never has been, And so, with the amount of gadgets and nonsense and conspiracy stuff that's going on, I'm just treating the new Splinter Cell as a Deus Ex game, and that's fine by me. It's like I'm having fun with this. This is actually all right.
You're turning into a robot for me, TV, and it's making me nervous.
Yeah, it's okay. There's apparently like a slight judder in my connection, but it's back now. It's okay.
Okay.
Not a problem.
I like that. I like it when games actually do that. When they say, "Hey, you can go full on out, you can go stealth," and it actually works.
Yeah.
It surprises me because usually they say that, and then you got to take it with a grain of salt because they don't really deliver.
That's the one thing I liked about Dishonored was that depending on the choice you made, if you went full out crazy, more guys would show up each level. So if you were sneaky, the next level you went to would only have a certain number of guys because no one knew there was a crazy man going around killing people. But if you were going around murdering everybody, every progressive level, there'd be more and more and more guys trying to stop you. And so it was kind of like, all right, if you want to be a crazy man, enjoy. I thought that was kind of cute. I was like, all right.
It's always backhanded, isn't it? Where it's like, oh well, you can do this, but we don't fucking want you to, and we're gonna make you pay.
It was awesome. I liked it. That's because I was sneaky, and so when there was no guys, I was like, this is great. All that waiting around paid off.
With stealth games, I've got to say, though, that whenever you offer that choice, stealth purists get upset. Because when you originally played the Splinter Cell, and Pandora Tomorrow is kind of the same thing, those are stealth games. There's no real argument that they're stealth games. They are fucking stealth games. And then the later one is like, well, you can stealth, but you can do all of this stuff as well. And then the people that just wanted a stealth game feel that the stealth element has been watered down because you don't have to. And that's not an unfair criticism. If you started liking it because it was a stealth game and then the subsequent games watered the stealth down, then damn right, that's a reason not to like it. But I am not a fan of pure stealth games, so for me, I quite like the fact that they have given you a bit of a choice.
Is that why everybody's upset about Thief? I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's why most people are upset about Thief. The problem with Thief right now is that Thief has been in development for fucking ages. It seems to be getting the too many cooks spoil the broth problem, where there's so many people who have been trying, it's like, oh, we want to do this or this, and like it's changed producers X number of times, that the whole thing is a mess. And like there was a scene released which was just basically a QTE chase scene where people were like, this is not fucking Thief.
I remember
Thief
that.
Has never had that. Apparently they took that out, but we have no idea what's going on with Thief right now. So I don't know. It might end up being this year's Colonial Marines. I hope it's not, but I'm a bit worried about that.
Oh my
game.
God. Can we have another Colonial Marines? I love every now and then having a disaster game. Just like, it's like at the Olympics, you need things to go wrong every now and then so that it's not just repetitive.
I got my I told you so moment out of that game, so I guess that's okay. But I'm also still sorry for the people that paid money for that absolute piece of dreck.
True.
Colonial
Marine. Ugly. Did that game ever come out on Mac? Look.
If it did, I honestly have no idea. So
it looks like you've been saved from the wrath of it, so I guess that's okay.
It sounds like it's quite a hoot to play. It sounds like quite the party game. Get a bunch of people together and play a
shitty game.
Good game. A good game.
The shittiest of games.
Real good.
Tell me, what is it about it that makes it terrible?
All right.
In its simplest form.
In its simplest form, well, the leading promo material before it and all the stuff that they showed was a lie, so that didn't help. The thing which bit me the most about it was the dreadful alien AI. And the fact that it just wasn't an alien's experience in any way. So, aliens, they're supposed to crawl on the walls, crawl on the floor, do all that kind of stuff. Most of the time, the aliens in that game just kind of run at you, sort of waving their arms around like this, which is just not fun at all. Most of the aliens don't even realize you're there. The crew AI is awful. It's like that your partners, the other Marines with you, are just absolutely useless. And the game is broken. I mean, it's just flat out broken across the board. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't look right. It's laden with bugs. It's fucking terrible. Like, you expected the sort of tense alien experience where you're kind of running for your life. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. None of that. It's just, it's
like
comedy.
A party.
Yeah.
It's you sold me. You sold me when you said the aliens do this.
It's like, I'm an alien.
You sold me.
Yeah.
Colonial Marines. I'm gonna look into it.
I just imagined somebody reskinning that game where all of the aliens are hyper realistic Barbie dolls. They're just like flapping their arms.
Now that is terrifying.
And
Go
now
on.
that's what I
What?
want. I want somebody to do that. Please just make most popular kids at school the game. That's all I want. It'd be great. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes. All right. So, Dodger, what did you play this week?
Elder Scrolls Online. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's go for it. All right, into the Elder Scrolls we go.
Yay!
Here's the discussion.
Yay! It's been forever. We haven't been able.
Guys,
So,
before we start, guys, do not leak NDA in the chat. You're not allowed to. It's a media thing only. You could get your fucking account banned. Don't do it. Okay, cool. Go.
I was playing it for a few hours last night until the beta ended, and when the beta ended, I was actually very sad. I was like, oh, I wanted to play more of that. I think, at first when I started playing it, I really did not enjoy it at all. And then the more that I played it, the more I really did enjoy it. But I remember last week, Jesse saying that it didn't feel like a Skyrim game at all. It didn't feel like you were playing Skyrim. I totally disagree with that. I felt like I was playing Skyrim, but there were a bunch of other people around.
With you?
Yeah.
Was
so
this the case,
Can I
by
ask-
the way, that... Sorry, I'm interrupting you completely, and it's horribly rude.
No, that's...
Is the thing that people have been saying that the starting zone is just absolutely fucking terrible, and once you get out of that, it really gets a lot better, true?
when you get out of the starting zone, you have an actual reason to be invested. They don't really give you anything to make you excited to play the game at first. It just feels kind of like, here you go. And you're like, okay. And then you run around and you're trying to do quests, and right now there are like a bunch of bugs. So like you're wrestling with the bugs and you're just like, what is this? Why am I playing this? And then once you leave the starting zone, it feels like there's so much going on, like just a lot of issues to tackle and a lot of stuff going on story wise. And again, I'm not like you guys. I haven't been playing MMOs a bunch, so I might just be enjoying myself more because I'm not as disenchanted with them. But I was actually really surprised. I was expecting to really hate it, and I ran into a ton of bugs right from the get-go, like game-breaking bugs at the very start, and I was like, this is going to be a shit show. But
I hit one of those where I got completely stuck. I tried to jump down a cliff face, and I just got stuck in an invisible wall and had to, like, relog and suicide my character. It fucking sucked.
Can I ask some questions, just like fundamental questions? What class did you play, and what faction did you play? I have a theory. Is all I'm saying. Please go on.
I'm an Argonian Templar.
Okay, so you were. Oh God, what faction is
what
that?
is that
You were
faction
Ebonhold. Ebonhold, yeah. Argonians, Ebonhold.
Yes, I think you're
Yeah,
right.
all right. Yeah, okay. You're Ebonhold.
Yeah, and
You were
I
Templar.
felt like
Okay.
I was Templar. And in Skyrim, I always felt like we were talking about this. Jared Rosen and I were talking about this, that the magic in Skyrim just didn't feel like it had any impact to it. Like when you were using magic, it was just kind of like, and then
Combat
things
in
died, and you were like,
general didn't really-
okay, yeah. And so I was actually really delighted that when I used magic, I felt awesome in this game. Like, I don't know what they changed. I don't know what it was, if it was sound, if it was just like movement of characters, but I really loved using my magic. I felt very powerful.
I entirely disagree with you on that. I think that I was about to say I can understand how being a melee character, because that's what you were, how a melee character being in the Skyrim setting, because that's where Ebonhold starts. You start in sort of the north. How that you can feel like, oh, this feels like Skyrim, and you're a melee character, so everything has impact, and you're doing all these different things, and you're swinging. I get that. I played that when I first played the alpha, and I decided I was like, oh, this is fun, this is good. The minute I switched to a mage character, the game felt exactly like a WoW style game.
I had a similar
like
experience. I rolled a mage first, and I definitely did not enjoy it.
Interesting.
So I've met with the developers of Elder Scrolls Online many, many, many times. I've been to their studios, and every time I'm there, and every time I talk to them, I say, here's your fundamental problem as I see it. The melee characters in the game play very, very well. You feel like you're actually doing things, and you swing, and everything has like a weight to it, and it feels really great. The casting characters are lacking. It doesn't feel like a Skyrim game. You feel like you're playing a normal MMO. And I think TB had the exact same experience, where it just doesn't feel compelling to play a casting character. And there's no way you can play a caster in.
Oops.
Uh-oh. Did we lose it?
Hang on, I'm still here. There's just there's a problem with my camera right now for some reason. Please, by all means, continue.
Well, there's so much going on as a melee, where you can do first person, you can do all these different things, you can experience the game. But if you play it as a caster, you have your hotbar and you're casting spells, and the only real difference that you feel is that you don't have, like, it doesn't auto target. That's the only difference from, say, WoW. You have to hit a guy, and if a guy runs in front of your spell, that guy gets hit, which makes it more of a pain in the ass thing than actual, like you get pissed. You're like, that spell's meant for that guy. Why would you run in front of it? Like, oh, that sucks. And I mean, that right there alone, I felt was like the big problem. And the casting just wasn't. I don't like the casting in that game at all. Melee's fantastic. I think the other big thing is that the factions are not equal in their presentation of the game. Ebonheart or Ebonhold or whatever the Dark Elves, the Argonians, and the Nords, whatever the Skyrim guys are called. Their starting area and their story is not nearly as good as the elf storyline. The elf storyline is fantastic compared to them, and I haven't played the human one, but there's none of it is. It's all over the place. Some of it's really, really good, and some of it is sort of like meh. And I've known people who have played the Ebonhold faction, and when they play something else, they're like, holy shit, this is way, way better than what I just did. Which is weird, because Ebonhold, I feel like, is the one people want to play the most, because it's more familiar, and they have the 3 different races that people like a lot. I don't know what they're thinking half the time, and I really want to support this game, but every time I get into it, I'm just like, there's so much I just don't like right now. But I can understand why your experience would be good compared to someone who was like, I'm going to play a healer, because that'd be just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut this discussion short. We're going to have to do it after the break, because I can't turn my camera back on because Skype's broken. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll fix the camera, then we'll get right back in with the Elder Scrolls Online discussion. You are currently watching the Co-optional podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional podcast. I fixed it. We're all good. Okay, let's get right back into this Elder Scrolls thing. It broke, kind of like the Elder Scrolls beta. Am I right, guys? Because it's full of bugs. You see what I'm doing there? Yeah. All right.
We were talking about the intro zones.
Yeah,
like all the different factions.
Yeah, and
just
the
the
different
experiences.
and the difference between the melee and the magic-focused experiences. And you two were having a disagreement on that one.
I just think it's a weird thing in the game, and I don't know why it is, and I think it's because of the balancing they had to do in order to make it a game that feels like a Elder Scrolls game, but also is an MMO. That weird line they had to walk, I felt like the balancing they've done makes the classes completely different play styles. So playing a mage character, you're playing totally different from a person who's playing a melee character, and it's really weird because if you're playing, say, a dragon knight, right? Your experience is way different because that was a lot of fun. You have like a get over here spell. You have all sorts of different things that you can do, and it feels very visceral, like the hitting and things. Meanwhile, if you're a mage, you're just frolicking in the background, casting spells, and that's it's. There's so many things I just don't understand that I wish I would get answers to. For example, first person's great, but there's no way you can first person in PvP. You would be a target.
Of course not. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like first person in Skyrim and in Elder Scrolls games anyway. So I like zoomed it all the way out. I was just running around like, yay, fireballs, fireballs.
Well, I did that almost immediately with my mage because I got my staff and I started doing stuff with my staff. Like, and I'm like, this is terrible. This does not feel remotely great. I'm switching out to third person. I'm going to pretend it's World of Warcraft. And it's like, at least I wasn't disappointed by the like pathetic little spell effects with the staff. It's like, it's like auto-attacking with a wand in World of Warcraft. And I was hoping to be, I was like, summon powerful bang! You know, that's kind of what I hoped for, and I didn't get that.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of the spells are like that when you play. So, for example, the last time I played, I mean, I haven't since then played as a ranged like magic character. I've only played melee since because that's where the experience is for me. But the last time I played a mage character, my spells were literally like, I can either hold down my button and power up a fireball that does 1, 2, or 3 fireballs, or I can cast little tiny effect spells, like a lightning bolt will come down from the sky, but nothing was very like visually appealing. For example, in Final Fantasy XIV, every spell a mage casts in that game looks gorgeous. Like you want to cast a spell. In this one, it's like, okay, I've poisoned the guy, great. I mean, you don't feel anything from it. Meanwhile, a melee character is like in their face with like multi-knives, jacking dudes up, doing super swings, blocking with shields, knocking guys down. There's a lot you can do, and it just is it's a different experience entirely. And then because each storyline of the 3 factions is totally different, some of them are way better written than the other ones. The game's very lopsided. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still gonna pick it up, which is weird that I can sit here and be like, rah, 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 but I'm still gonna get it because I want to see end game what it looks like.
All right.
I'm so curious to see what.
I was going to ask you, Dodger, because you believe that magic actually feels good in that game, but you were playing a Templar, you weren't playing a mage. So, like, describe the experience of playing that character. You know, what abilities does it have? What does it do? You know.
So you get some healing abilities, and then you get a bunch of like weird shining light abilities. Like I can throw a glowing javelin, so that's like my ranged attack, and then I have like a super multi attack that's like super close up, and both of those do awesome damage. So I was using those all the time, and then I had my one healing spell that I used a lot, and then I had like they're like these shining light magic spells that kind of lift people off the ground and slam them down and take away a bunch of damage, right? But those require like a build up. So I really loved, I didn't need them to look interesting or beautiful. I needed the feeling of being powerful, you know, like that's what I wanted out of it. And I felt like every time I did a magic spell, it was like, bam, and people just like got tossed, you know, it was great.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that feeling. And, what I was going to say a minute ago is, this is the first time I've played a beta, and actively every single time there was a bug, I like went in to the system and I was like, I have this bug. You should fix this.
So innocent and cute. Oh, to be new again.
Some of it might actually get fixed.
They emailed me back and they were like, yo, we fixed that thing. And I was like, thank you. That was the worst. I was really excited. I interacted with 2 because, again, right when I started the game, I was trapped in bugs. Like, just so many things were going wrong. And there were 2 different game masters that I wound up interacting with that were like, don't worry, we're going to fix this. And they were both awesome, helped me through the whole thing, and then emailed me later to be like, we fixed all that stuff. I was like, thank you. So it was, I don't know, it was a good, regardless of all of the bad, it was a good experience for me, and I really enjoyed it. Although I do agree that the starting area for an Argonian was boring, very boring. And they need to fix the quest system when you're in a party, because right now everybody can be doing different parts of the same quest and it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't affect everybody's quest for everyone to do things. You have to do everything individually for yourself. You're all just on the same quest, and it's real dumb.
I there's one point that I want to make that's not really even about the beta. It's about the way that they're doing this release thing. So they've done the Imperial edition of this bloody thing.
I will agree with what you're about to say. Even before I know what you're about to say, I know what it is. Yeah.
I know, yeah,
And-
same here.
And so, one, they basically locked an entire race behind a paywall, which doesn't seem like a good idea, because one, that race can play on any alliance and gains unique bonuses and crafting styles and stuff like that. So that, in my, it's like, already to me, it's like, whoa, you are doing what? But then I read about the pre-purchase bonuses, which are even worse, because the way that this game works is that the races are part of 3 different alliances, yeah? So if you want to play Argonian, you're in whatever the fuck the Argonians are in. Ebonhold. But if you pre-purchase the game, you can play any race in any alliance. And this is fucking horrible, because people that sign up to play this game kind of as a group with your friends will not be able to play together if they want to play specific races. So one guy wants to play Argonia, one guy wants to play Breton, one guy wants to play Redguard, assuming they still do that. And then they end up in different alliances, and they can't actually play together because the game arbitrarily said that you can't. But if you take a risk and you pre-purchase that thing, then you can play together. Fuck that! That's horrible. Come on. That is really, really predatory.
I still don't understand. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish I could have been to like meetings or something and just hear what they wanted out of it, because
Money
everything
is what they wanted out of it.
and everything that they were told. There was, I mean, a year ago podcast when all these people who were like big MMO people and I went to this thing and we sat down with them. We're like, here's what you need to do to make it a success. And since then they've done everything exactly opposite. And it's like, you can't do this. Like you know what would make this a successful MMO, and you are doing the exact opposite. It's painful to watch. So I don't know. I'm hoping the end game is as fulfilling as they promise, because spoiler, they're never as fulfilling as they promise. But I'm hoping it is, and maybe it'll be great. But I'm convinced it'll just. I'm perpetually let down by MMOs. I even told when I went to SOE and they were talking about EQ Next, I was like, here's the deal. I am already pre-let down by your game, and I haven't even played it. All MMOs disappoint me at this point. You have to win my love back, because none of you, it's all BS at this point. All of it. I can't be bothered. I'll still buy it, I'll play it, and then I will bitch and moan if it sucks. But let you know. I don't get it.
There seems to be a theme with you, Jesse. You're pre-let down by life. You wanna discuss that?
Pre-let down by life. Lightning returns.
Hey, as
You're
long
gonna have
as
a good day today, Jesse. Just
in
playing
Skyrim,
that all day.
as long as you can cast icicles into people's abdomens and say sleep, 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 that's all you need to worry about.
You can't do that.
You can't cast icicles.
Oh, because like you unlock spells.
What am I
and you
supposed
learn
to
new
do?
spells depending on which guild you enter. So I just entered all the guilds.
If I can't cast icicles into people,
And say sleep, sleep, sleep. Look, it's just not gonna.
I got an
feel
ice staff, and it was the lamest experience I've ever had.
It's just
I use ice. Like, it's like carrying a staff version of a Magikarp. It's just dreadful. It's like fucking use splash attack. Like, no, I'm not gonna do anything of the sort. Like, just hitting them with the staff. There was an ability which just hits them with the staff. Does about 5 times as much damage as the magic I summon from it. It's, I don't know. I need to try a different class, because that is clearly not going to work for me.
Yeah, I will say if you want to experience the game in its best possible way of experiencing, I would say pick a melee class, play Aldmeri Dominion, and enjoy that, because that's where you have the most fun. I don't know if it. I can't. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. That game infuriates me right now. I just wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be so good, and it's not.
And it's coming out quite soon, doesn't it? It is coming out fairly soon.
Beginning of April.
Yeah, I already just hate the way that they're doing their business. It's like they're having a microtransaction store in from game one. You buy the box. The Imperial Edition is like $80, $90. It's a $15 a month subscription. And it's like, I hated it when Secret World did this, and I'm hating it that Elder Scrolls is doing it. Like, in this day and age, I'm okay with submodels. I'm actually totally fine with it. If a submodel means that I can pay $15 a month and get access to everything all the time, then I'm fine with it. I'm great with that. I much prefer that to a lot of the free-to-play MMOs that are coming out right now, where it's like, oh, great, I'm going to have to buy this shit piecemeal, aren't I? And they're going to deliberately drag the experience out because there's an incentive for them to do that. But with this, it's just, you are triple dipping. And I'm not okay with that. And you're triple dipping in a really predatory way as well with this whole race and alliance thing. And if it was just vanity pets and early access, then I'd be cool with it. But I'm not.
And that's I think the thing that angers me is they went with a pay model. Like, okay, you're gonna have to pay for this. And I feel like if that's what they're doing, then the most you should be able to do off of that is like, okay, well, you can buy the collector's edition that has, you know, like you said, a nice little pet, or you get a fancy outfit or something. But to say then, oh, there's even a super duper special edition where you get this, and this. What the hell's the point of a paid version? Like, if I'm paying $15 a month, you better well give me all the damn content that you're producing.
There isn't a microtransaction store. What I am absolutely certain there is. Am I missing something here? Because I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be in-game stuff you can buy. I'm gonna have to look this up because I'm almost certain of it. Like, I read several articles on this. Like, am I missing something here? I'm gonna double check while you guys finish talking about that.
WoW has that now, doesn't it? Or has had it for a while?
I have hated WoW's store from the very start that it came out. You know, like, the idea of paying for character transfers is bullshit in and of itself. The idea that they develop $25 mounts to sell you, again, also bullshit.
I was just about to say, can't you, like, just go into a store and buy mounts?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, getting a mount in WoW is very easy now, but it's like, we're going to make exclusive models and stuff solely for the people that want to pay $25, but you're already paying $15 a month sub. I'm not okay with that. If you charge a sub, then you should not be charging for anything else. It's as simple as that. Yeah, the sub should cover everything, and if it doesn't, then don't charge a sub.
And we're not saying, for those who are like, we're not saying that because we're paying $15 we should have access to everything. We should have the ability to get it should we choose to. Is the idea?
This was confirmed back in August, by the way. They were saying about the microtransaction store. Matt Furrer confirmed in August of 2013 there won't be anything like bonus points, but we'll have a shop to buy kind of fun stuff and services too, like name changes and things like that.
It's the idea that if I'm paying $15 a month, I'm not saying give me, for example, an Imperial character with all the things from the get-go. I'm saying if I'm paying money, at least I should have the ability to unlock that at some point because of the time I put into your game. So I am leveling and I'm doing this and I'm playing this and I've run 100 raids or whatever. Now I have access to that because that's how you work around that. Yes.
But we have said multiple times that there's nothing wrong with microtransactions for cosmetic or aesthetic things. So if this store turns out to be only cosmetic things... Disagree.
You've changed your mind on this so many fucking times.
No, I haven't. If you go on my channel, you'll find a video called That Retarded Horse. Yeah, you go to that, you search up That Retarded Horse, you will find it. That video is several years old.
Right.
And what that was about the WoW store when it first came in. Yeah. And the fact that they sold a $25 mount. Yeah? And I have held that opinion since then, so for like 4 fucking years, that it's not okay if you're charging a sub to have a microtransaction store. Everything should be... And I mean, I wouldn't even call it microtransactions for WoW, because they're like $25. But
so you're saying if it's free to play, then microtransactions are okay?
Totally. But if you're paying a subscription, everything developed for that game outside of expansion packs should be available to everyone in-game, and they shouldn't have to pay any more than that. Even the idea of developing an exclusive model that is only used in-game because someone bought it is bullshit. Yeah, that's like even the slightest amount of development resources taken away from making stuff for the subscribers is wrong. And that's like where I draw that line. So, yeah. And the fact that they're talking about having this in from the very start, or at least around launch, is, that's pretty horrible.
Those guys.
So, get this game?
Have you ever played an MMO, Look? Ever?
Yeah. I played a little bit of WoW.
Okay.
And like the tutorial in the beginning was something having to do with like killing spiders or something like that. I don't
Sounds
really
about
know.
right.
Like, fuck it, I'm done. Spiders?
I don't.
Spiders
I just,
out.
I just don't. I'm not. I don't have a fear of spiders if that's what you're wondering. But I don't know. I grew up on playing very like linear, I guess, story-driven games that have like an end to them, and I guess because that's what I played growing up. Perhaps I'm more. I like that. I like the fact that there is an end, like to the story, to the adventure. I know there's like quests and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I guess with the MMO, the concept it kind of frightens me a little bit, and so I play a little bit, and I'm just like, I don't think I should play this. Maybe because I will get addicted to it. Maybe because there's a little bit of what is going on. I'm killing a bunch of spiders. I don't know what the end of it's going to be.
I can actually understand where you're coming from when it comes to story and MMOs, because I'm a big story nerd. And so, for example, the very first MMO I was really into was Final Fantasy XI. And it was because every expansion connected to the next one through one single story. And so the next expansion would literally start where the last one ended, cutscene wise. And so it was
That's
like,
cool.
holy crap. And so every story connected. The gameplay was just unbearable, but the story was great. And so I kept buying the expansions because I was like, oh, I can't wait to find out what happens next.
You're invested in the story.
WoW was very similar, is once you get involved in what's happening in the world, suddenly you're like, well, I have to buy the next one to see what happens, and I have to buy this and this.
Right.
And eventually you realize they're going to keep creating events to happen. Like the perfect example is I think they just gave up trying to be, they're just not undercover anymore. They're very open about them trying to just extend stuff. Like the next expansion is literally like, those bad guys you killed before, they're back now. Also, we have time travel. Like they don't even care anymore. They're just like, fuck it, we're just going to change. And because it got to a point where it's like, every time you stop the big bad guy, there's always another even bigger bad guy who then does X, and you have to, and that's
Right.
That's how MMOs keep it going. You're right. There is no final point that you're just like, eventually we need a resolution to this. And you can never end it.
That's not what the MMOs are about, though, right? It's about creating an experience with the people you play with. Like, I get that.
That's what it comes down to, yeah.
Right. It's about who you play with and kind of the collective journey, not so much the story, right, that they construct in game for you to play.
Yeah,
right?
No. I mean, that's in the end. That's what it comes down to, because, like I said, eventually the story and the gameplay and running the same dungeon 12,000 times gets old, and the only reason why you continue to play an MMO is for the community. And everyone who still plays WoW, or everyone who still plays EverQuest, or everyone who still plays any game plays it now because of the people playing it, not because of the actual game. Like, WoW is 9 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. I don't know how old is it anymore. And
For sure it's not 20, but...
The people playing it are playing it because of how it...
Right.
How they're friends. They're not playing it because they're like, God, I just gotta find out what happens to Thrall. No one cares right now.
Right. I have a question back on the, I guess, the original question. Do I play any MMOs? Does RuneScape count as an MMO?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
RuneScape?
Yep.
All right. I played a little bit of that. Every time I play an MMO, it's the same thing. I play it, and I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I've said this before. MMOs have their kind of quality to quantity ratio is probably the least out of any game outside of, say, mobile cow clickers. Because they need to spread that experience out and they can't let you hit max level in like a day, the stuff that they make you do is really low quality time filler stuff, Yeah. So there've been attempts to fix that. Tor tried to fix it, and the way they tried to fix it was, we're going to have the same kind of quests, but we're going to contextualize it within a story. There's going to be voice acting. You're going to have some dialogue choices, which actually makes some degree of difference. Not a huge amount, but some. And that's how they did. And we're going to phase a lot of stuff as well. So they did that, and they made it, all right, this is a phase that only a bounty hunter can enter, because this is the bounty hunter's personal story and things like that. So they had a lot of class-specific content. But it's still the same shit, It's still kill 10 of these, kill 20 of these, blah, blah, blah. It's just they wrapped it in a different wrapper. It's how long it takes for you to see through that illusion, I guess.
I imagine it's the world. It's the world too. How what the world?
Are you kidding me? We just got Dodger back and now we lost Jesse. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Jesse, camera back on.
Hi.
That was a
Hi.
weird one. There we go. We've got everyone back. Wonderful.
Time
Jeez.
Warner Cable. It's Time
wow.
Warner Cable.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
I'm okay, right? I'm not.
are
I'm
you-
not.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I don't know
Okay.
what ISP you're on, but I want that one.
Yeah, what ISP do you have? What cable provider do you have?
I have no idea how this is working, because anybody watching me right now who knows my internet connection knows that it's terrible. It's some local internet. Like, it's the worst. So
It's working fine.
Somehow you're still here. So
Better than
don't
everyone
jinx it.
else's.
I was actually talking to someone else today. I was like, my internet connection is not going to hold up in this podcast. It just
So far,
is
you've
not.
been the only one that has.
I know. This.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, back to the whole circling back to the MMOs.
Indeed,
there
yeah.
was there was one MMO I was really excited about just because of the world it was.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure the consensus of the Matrix is first one great, second, third.
Oh, Matrix
What in the world?
Online.
Matrix Online.
Wow.
Matrix Online. Yeah, because I was obsessed with the Matrix. I mean, all three of them. And I remember the trailer being in the third DVD, and I was like, wait a sec. This is gonna continue. Yeah. Yes, I want to play this, but I never did.
I can't hate you for it.
That-
I can't hate you for it.
You shouldn't have.
I had an obsession. I had an obsession with the Matrix as well. Except the last one really disappointed me. But other than that, I was
Yeah.
on board for the
I
first
hate
two
the
movies
last one.
entirely.
Because it continues on in the
CGI
MMO,
Mr.
right?
Smiths all day.
Yes. Yeah, the MMO continued it on, like to the point where they actually killed off Morpheus in the MMO, and that's canon.
It blew my mind. Yeah. That was canon, because I actually would follow like blog posts like of the story update just because I wanted to know what was going on. Yeah.
Now
never
he's
played
back,
it.
though. Morpheus is back. He rides in
What?
the backseat of cars, so we're good.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh, I
sings
was so-
opera now, too, so...
Yeah,
Lawrence
it was.
Fishburne is the best.
Yeah, it was apparently going to be just awful. I played I remember playing the beta of that, and it was weird because they focused obviously on fighting, and they had this sort of weird. I think they called it the lock system, where you were fighting. It was kind of like it looked like a proper. Yeah, it's called interlock. That was what it was called. It made it look like an actual kung fu fight out of the Matrix, just way worse, obviously. And it was really odd. Like, it had rounds. Like, it was basically turn-based. Like, combat rounds lasted 4 seconds each. And then, yeah, the way the interlock worked was this, right? 2 players exchange damage in rounds. Each round lasts exactly 4 seconds. For each round, the 2 players' accuracies are pitted against each other's defenses, which are slightly affected by a random luck roll. There are 3 different outcomes: hit, miss, or miss. In hit miss, one of the players will hit the other while dodging the attack. In miss, both players will parry without doing any damage. In hit, but one player will damage the other,
Miss.
only to be damaged by a counterattack. It takes place in real time, but it's almost like effectively turn-based. And there's special abilities you can use and things like that.
That's super
There's
weird.
damage resistances. It's a very odd system.
Wait, so
And-
like, say that I'm a person playing Matrix Online, right? And there are
Go
2
on.
people in a turn-based battle in front of me. What does that look like to me?
It looks awkward.
They're just standing there, and then they both just
it
go,
looks awkward.
miss.
The thing is
And
that,
then
like,
4
the way...
seconds later, they both shoot.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the way they did it, because they kept the animations going in between those 4-second plays. Like, so, like, with fighting, obviously, like, you're still punching and things. Like, they locked the 2 characters together, and they got into this kind of mock fight, but only, like, every 4 seconds would an actual blow land, basically. So
Yep.
it's really
Yep.
odd. Like, they had 3 different factions in it. The class system was really weird. You could, like, swap out your class and...
Yeah, wasn't there a class that was nothing? Like, you could just go to clubs and parties, and that was your class, a regular
That's
person,
awesome.
and
I
just
think
hang
so,
out. Yeah, it was weird. And I was like, who would want? Okay, maybe I would have done that, but who would have wanted to be a regular person?
There are people that play MMOs and they're like, look, all I do in this MMO is I go to the crafting table and I make sick shit, and that's all I do.
Well,
like
you're talking about Star Wars Galaxies there,
Yeah,
really.
Star Wars
You could be a
Galaxies,
dancer, and you actually had to have people watch you in order to gain skill points. Yeah,
You can be a dancer?
yeah, you could be a dancer.
Well, not anymore. You can't. But
No,
Wait, you can't be a dancer anymore?
well, the game's
Galaxies
gone.
shut down,
The game's
yeah.
shut down.
You guys are just breaking my heart and then mending it and then breaking it again.
Yeah.
you can play Second Life. I mean, that's the thing
No,
you can
don't do anything of that. No,
Go
don't.
play Second Life.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
If I'm gonna play Second Life, I'm just gonna screw with people. So
you're more likely going to screw people. It's
that's-
Second Life. There's probably going to
That's
be
all
dicks
Second
involved.
Life is.
Yes. Giant blue floating dicks. That's Second Life in a nutshell. But yes,
That's
there's
why
that.
I'm
Sounds-
watching it.
Yeah, apparently when they
sounds
closed down Matrix Online, there were less than 500 people like still playing the game. It was a pretty bad failure, unfortunately.
that sucks.
Oh, there you go.
Great.
All right. So yeah, you were playing Elder Scrolls. Has anyone played anything else? We got onto this massive MMO topic.
should
Do it now.
we talk? Can we talk about Wolf Among Us without spoiling stuff?
I don't think we can. Like,
Probably not.
Critics not a fan of Wolf Among Us. I just want to point that out.
what, part 2?
What? Yeah, part 2.
Okay, I haven't
negative
actually.
reviews.
I haven't played part 2 yet. I've got to be honest. I was trying to get around to it, and then I went and played Tor for 10 hours, so that didn't happen.
You're
The
missing
biggest
boobs,
criticism,
TV.
I think, there are boobs. I covered them up with my cat's
boobs.
faces in my video. It was
Lol,
awesome.
Okay.
But I think the biggest criticism for it is that it's short. It's like mega short.
How short exactly? How long?
I'm trying to remember how long. The other one I think took
It was about 2
2.5
hours. The first
hours.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one took an hour and a half to play. all the way through.
Whoa. That's gonna piss a lot of
So-
people off. Considering.
Yeah, so a lot of people played it and they were like, "Oh, I mean, a
This
lot
is what we
happens
waited
in it.
5-6 months for.
The stakes are raised in this one, I would say, but it's short. It's very.
Some people beat in an hour,
Short.
apparently. So yeah, that's actually ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
really, really short.
Why is it
Super
even
short.
a part?
Yeah, the episode should have been longer for sure.
It's this new. I don't know what it is. Telltale. Would we consider them the first to pull this thing off, or they do
What, the
episodic?
episodic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who started
unless
that?
you want to count American McGee's Grimm on Game Tap, which I probably wouldn't because that wasn't really a big
Yeah.
success. Then yeah, I'd say that Telltale were the ones that executed episodic correctly. Yeah.
And ever
they've done
since then-
several. They've finished several games in that model, and they've been
Yeah.
fine.
And ever since then, that's been the big way things like, especially story-driven games. If you can do it episodically, the hype builds for each new chapter rather than just one game and you get a little bit of hype and then your game's just out there.
Yeah, man.
Now they can do it little bit by little bit, which
Yes.
is great.
Yeah.
It works really well, and I even get caught up in it. But the problem is you're right. A lot of it is like, even for example, when they announced the DLC for BioShock, I was like, oh, how exciting! And that was like 2 hours max, and I was like, it
No,
was fun,
it wasn't.
But
It wasn't
I think-
2
want more.
hours.
a lot
Yes,
more
it
people,
was.
a lot more developers are feeling like they can get away with that though, because it's becoming
yeah.
so normal. And I think that it's kind of an extension of the whole argument about DLC. Like, if you're gonna go into it planning on taking away part of the game and giving it to us as DLC, then like, why not just give it to us? And I think it's the same with some episodic stuff where it's like, look, you can't all just get away with doing episodic stuff. Like, just finish it, It's hard. It's hard. I do really enjoy Wolf Among Us though, but I hope that Telltale doesn't turn into a company that's only doing this.
Look, Game of
You know,
Thrones.
like
Seems
Game
like
of
the way they're
Thrones.
going.
I
Game
need
of
that
Thrones
so
is gonna
badly.
happen, and
need that
they've still
so
got more
badly.
Walking Dead, and
What's
what's the other one? Oh, the Borderlands one.
Borderlands one, yeah. The Wolf Among Us was the first one that I bought into at episode 1 and actually wanted to play, and I've been burned horribly by that because it ended on a cliffhanger, and then I had to wait like 5 fucking months to get the next bit, which is even shorter than that. I'm like, fuck it. This is what I get for going down the television model. This is why I stopped watching TV, because I can't. I want to watch an entire series now from start to finish at my pace, not wait. And this is even worse because it's not just an episode every week. It's like 5 months. Like, no. So yeah, that you know, they had one chance with me when it came to episodic, and I now hate that release model. So I understand why they would do it, and it makes sense for their games. They've made it work in the past, but I would rather just wait for the whole thing to come out and then buy it and beat it then.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Wolf Among Us, I played Reaper, Tale of a Pale Swordsman.
What's that
I don't
all
know if
about
any
then?
of you guys played that. I played it the first time, I think, at PAX, and it's very simple. It's a game that literally only uses the WADs and spacebar.
Yes.
So like up is an up slash, down is a down slash, and if you're not using those, then you just auto attack, and then you can go right and left, and you can jump with spacebar, and that's it. But it's like really beautiful and really fun to play. And I almost can't articulate why. It's set up in a way where like you're on a map, right? And you have all of these different locations that you can go to, and there's an exclamation point if there's something to do there.
Okay.
And while you're traveling to those places, you can get random encounters and have fights occur, and each fight happens in a different space. Like it turns into a like 2D platformer, and you just have like this long expanse where all of these enemies are, and you have to kill all of the enemies in order to get out of that zone, and that's how everything is set up. So it's very simple, but I really enjoy it, and I don't know why.
The art style's nice.
I've also noticed that they give you like the dickish response and the nice response, like to choose from, but so far I've played through the whole beginning being nice, and I've now also played through the whole beginning being mean, and it doesn't change anything.
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, I can just be a dick, and everybody's still like, yo, dog, how's it going? You want to do a job for me? And I'm like, all right. But I haven't gotten to the point where we really get into the story yet. You can tell the story is like building up, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I enjoy it though. I would recommend checking it out if you like platformy, I'm gonna kill stuff games.
I'm looking into that. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough like kind of special attacks and whether or not they're what looked really weird is the sword slashes look like they had zero weight behind them. Do you think that's true?
It depends on how much rage you've built up. So they have a system where like as long as you're auto attacking, if you just walk up to something and you're just like slash 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 slash, then you get a certain number of skulls above you.
Okay.
Depending on how many skulls you've saved up, your special attacks, your upswing and your downswing will have more weight.
Oh, okay.
So if you're just like spamming downswing, it's going to look like you're just like, But if you've built up a bunch of skulls and then you downswing, it like blows up and a bunch of dudes die, and it's sick. So yeah, the more that I play it, the more I'm understanding how to actually kill stuff in a good way. Because at first I was like, I don't know, but I think it's fun. I remember being very confused by it at PAX, though. Like, the first time that I played it, I was like, I don't understand what's happening. What's going on here? It's real pretty. And you bounce on stuff. It's good. It's good times.
10 out of 10, you bounce on stuff.
10 out of 10, you bounce on stuff.
You bounce on stuff, it's good times.
That's actually the first adults-only production from Sizemore Cox. It's titled You Bounce on Stuff.
You bounce on stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll give a
Subtitles
review and say 10 out of 10. There we go.
There you go. 10 out of 10.
It's all sorted.
You can order the DVDs for
I like in this
$49.99.
scenario, you're the person we send our porn productions to.
Don't
I
worry.
need a good review. Dodger knows a thing or two
I
about
got
porn.
yours.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Send you porn.
Oh, jeez.
The last one that I would probably talk about, I think TB played probably archery.
Oh, fucking hell, that game.
Did you play probably archery? I thought we talked about that.
Oh, God. Yeah, I did. And it's... fucking probably archery is...
It's like queue up the archery game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so infuriating. Just...
Yeah. It finally came out on Steam. Like, it's been on Greenlight. It's actually been out for months. Like, I think It may have been Markiplier that did the first video on it like 5 months ago. It's basically QWOP, and it's just, it's painful.
Awful? Horrible? Agreed.
Mostly horrible. I played the zombie soccer mode, the multiplayer, and that was kind of fun, but the actual game itself is infuriating.
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I felt very accomplished when I finally got the arrow and the bow. I was like, oh yeah, sick. And then like I tried to actually shoot something and the arrow was like, ugh. So sad. And then I had to go through that process all over again of being like, yeah. And then you just never hit a target. You spend like 20 minutes just trying to like.
It's like, this is a waste of my time. Like,
I want to see the developers do stuff like that. I want to see the guys who make those games do it perfectly. I just want to see that. I want to see how they do it, because I don't believe it can be done. I think they're assholes. They are giant dicks. And I don't like them. I don't like them. I want to say it to their face. I'm going to go to PAX East and be like, you're an asshole. That's what I'm going to say to all those people.
And then you slap them with a glove. It's like, you.
I challenge you to archery outside, and then it's us outside like.
I am pre-let down. How dare you?
I hate
Just
archery.
do it correctly.
I don't even know if I want to do a video on probably archery, because it will turn into one of those shitty LP rage fests that everyone seems to love. It'll be like my video of I want to be the guy guiding. It'll just be terrible. So I don't know. There are some games that are based solely on the frustration of mechanics, like Octodad, right? Octodad is based on the idea that it makes everything fucking difficult. You've got to perform simple tasks, but the game is designed to be difficult. I think this is on another level of that. Like, Octodad, I think, has some really funny, it's got unintentionally funny and emergently funny moments because of the way that your limbs operate. You just, knock over children and all that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, I want to get some cereal. Like, everyone's dead because you're an octopus. And it's well written as well. But a game like Probably Archery is specifically designed to piss you off. Mm-hmm. And all credit to them. It does a damn good job of doing just that.
Well, yeah, like with Probably Archery, there's nothing there to engage you. It's literally just you, like, I'm in a field. One day this will work out.
They do have a lot of different modes.
It's frustrating, but there's
context to your frustration.
A lot going on. It's very funny. It's silly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just surreal in itself. So it's just like, I'm an octopus trying to pour coffee. All right.
Yeah.
And, in that way, you want to succeed so bad.
Yeah. What I will give credit to Probably Archery for is that they did put a lot of game modes in. Like, they put a multiplayer mode in called Zombie Soccer, which is, well, you've got two teams, you're basically playing football in first-person perspective, but you've got cricket bats and guns. And the zombies. And which is weird because it doesn't make any sense in the context of Probably Archery, because there's no fucking archery in it. So that's a bit weird. And then there's all these other mini games, like there's one where you have an army of, there's dudes with balloons for heads who are the archers, and then there's dudes with apples for heads who are the berserkers with swords. And there's one mode where they charge across the field at you, and you've got a bunch of your guys, and you're trying to shoot them before they actually get to you.
Yeah, the super ripped dudes.
Yeah, with the apples for the heads. It's really, really strange. But, it is not a game that I have any interest in engaging with. It's aimed at a very specific demographic of people, and I think, honestly, it's designed specifically for YouTubers to get pissed off at.
I mean, you can't really be upset about that zombie mode, because the game isn't called Archery. It's called Probably Archery.
Yeah.
So
it might not be.
Mode has to have archery involved.
It's probably archery.
It's just, it probably will have it involved.
Yeah.
Check out Probably Archery, guys, if you want to just vomit on yourself.
10 out of
Looking to be
10.
a YouTuber. Want to rage at something.
There's another trope video for
There
you.
it is.
Your follow-up to your reviews video. There you go.
Oh, great. I already did the Let's Play. The Let's Play
Yeah, that's
training
true. You
video.
did. Oh, God.
Everyone thinks I hate Let's Players. I'm like,
What
no.
an asshole.
Yeah.
But secretly, yes.
I hate all of you. Especially you three.
Whoa, uncalled for.
DB,
Kicked
the
off.
most notorious Let's Player. Just
I'm well
the
known for
worst.
all of my famous Let's Plays.
Just the worst.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was.
Is that it? Are we done with games we've played?
I think so. I'm trying to think of anything else that I played, like other than just tour. I played Jazz Punk. That was great.
What is that?
It's a surreal comedy exploration game thing.
Oh.
With some strange puzzles.
It also seems designed for YouTube. It feels like it has one of those, like, this was designed.
No. I don't think so.
I totally think so.
No, I think
like
Jazz Punk is designed for people that
watch.
want a funny 3-hour or so experience with some very esoteric humor and a lot of cool references. Like, that's what it is. It's 3 hours of comedy. It's got some genuinely funny moments in it. And that's pretty much it. Could you watch it? Yes. If you didn't experience it for yourself, you're fucking missing out. Like, you're letting yourself down, I feel.
Jesse,
Uh-huh.
are you hugging that book right now?
Jesse.
Are you just holding it next to your heart?
He's holding it next to his crotch by the looks of it.
What?
No.
Yes, my dick is that huge.
Right here.
I didn't know how big the book was.
Oh, boy, just right in the. I have to move it out of the way sometimes. Like, oh shit!
Sizemore
No.
Cox. That's what I'm going to say.
Just because
just
you hold
saying.
it intimately doesn't mean you'll grow to like it. I feel like
no.
I feel like you're trying. I feel like you're trying to
I
like.
know. See, that's what I thought too. He's just
I
like,
desperately,
Please be good.
this is
I
gonna be a
desperately want to
good
like
game.
it. There's entire sections of this book devoted to this game that are literally just like costumes. Why is that necessary?
Just hold
Damn
it.
it,
Just
Final
hold
Fantasy.
it.
You
Maybe it'll
used to
change.
be
Yeah, just
about
hug
the
it.
gameplay. Now you're like,
hug it.
look, your shit can change into.
Jesse, just hug it. It's fine.
Let's do news. Because I don't think there's anything else that people really want to talk about games-wise.
Should we talk about McGruff, the crime dog?
No, that's not gaming news. It's not gaming news. We're well aware that McGruff was arrested. That's got nothing to do with anything.
By the way, guys, McGruff was arrested.
Guys, I think you should know, McGruff the crime dog was arrested.
He also
Dude had a grenade
Not only
launcher.
for drugs, but also for
a grenade
weapons.
launcher.
Yeah.
He had a
Dude had
grenade
a
launcher.
grenade launcher.
And the judge said, and I quote, "You look like the kind." What was it? It was like, "You look like the kind of person I would be afraid of," or something like that. It's a really good quote. Hold on, I'll find it for you because it's that important. We need to know this.
I
Stop.
was like,
Judge said, and I quote, "Everything I read about you makes you seem like a very scary person." McGruff, the crime dog, the person who looked out for kids when we were young.
Now crime will take a bite out of him. Seriously, though, his time in prison will probably not be pleasant. All right. Let's not talk about McGruff the crime dog in any way.
We already did. We did it already. It already happened.
Too late.
It's time to talk about Flappy Bird.
Oh, okay.
About Dong Nguyen and Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird.
Who?
Flappy
Dong
Bird.
Nguyen?
Dodger, since you presented the show about this very thing, why don't you introduce the topic? What the fuck happened with Flappy Bird?
So Flappy Bird is a game for iOS and Android that a lot of people got super into out of the blue.
Yes.
And then not too long after the game was released, the creator, Dong Nguyen, took the game down. And everybody was like, what happened? Why? It's gone now. If you go and look, you can't download Flappy Bird anymore. And so the reason that it was taken down, he said, was not because of law. It was not for legal reasons. It was not because he wants to sell the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was interfering with his life. He was not happy after making the game because so many people were sending him death threats about his game and
Yeah.
other such nonsense. He was making
What?
all sorts of money from it per day. He was making so much money and now has made more than he knows what to do with. So he was
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to take this game down. It's too much trouble.
Yep. He also said today, and this is a recent revelation, that he felt the game was too addictive and that it was harming people's lives.
Who is
We're
this
playing it too
person?
much.
This
Dong
person
Nguyen.
is the sole Vietnamese developer of Flappy Bird.
Donnie Nguyen? Is that his name? Yo,
Yep.
Donnie D. Donnie Nguyen. What the hell is the matter with you? America should have taken over Vietnam when we had the chance. I'm just saying, he would have a totally different outlook on this situation.
Somehow,
He'd
I
be
don't
like,
think
"Money,
America would have had
money,
much choice in the matter there, but, you know, if you know anything
money."
about your
I'm
history.
just
but-
saying. I'm just saying, look, I was a history teacher. I think I know more than you teach. I'm just saying.
Yes, but you're an American history teacher, which is different from everyone else's history.
Look, I'm just saying we should have taken them over. We should
Just
have
saying, we won the war in Vietnam, and we also took over China in the process, and that's why they make all our things now.
You're making a lot of sense. I'm just saying. You're making a lot of sense right now.
I didn't know the dude got death threats. That's terrible.
Have you never received death threats, Yungtown?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You've got a video on YouTube that has over 100,000 views. Should have received at least one by now. You probably missed it.
When you make satirical parody content, people don't get it. Oh, well, I did make that one video.
Really?
About Sonic leaving Smash Bros. When that did not happen, just to see what the internet would do. And
how many death threats you get from that? Probably quite a few.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. This is definitely a different philosophy on life than I think a lot of people in our society have. Like, he's making bank on this. He is now famous overnight. Any American would be like, he's like, nope, I am not cool with this at all, and just shut it down.
I'm very, very surprised that, like, specifically you, Jesse, and you, Dodger, don't understand, like, his point of view. Because having dealt with the bullshit that the internet throws at you, magnify the bullshit that you get on a daily basis by 1,000 times. And throw it at you when you're completely and totally unprepared for it. Like, you haven't worked on games for years, you haven't been in the public spotlight for years, and suddenly fucking CNN is trying to get you on for an interview. People are, because that's a lot of money in Vietnam. There's a quote from The Verge which says $50,000 ad revenue a day. Yeah? Now, we don't really have a reason to disbelieve The Verge. Apparently that was from an interview. Some people are saying that's not true, blah, blah, blah. But even if it was a fraction of that, it's absolutely fucking massive. And in Vietnam, that's a shitload of money. And then suddenly, everyone that knows you is suddenly like trying to get a piece of it. You've got people, it's like, I could be your manager. I could be your representative, blah, blah, blah. Then you got people who are like literally threatening you. It's like, give me your fucking money or I'll fucking kill you, blah, blah, blah. Then you got people online saying you made the fucking worst thing ever. It's like people are saying $50,000 made up, but you have no actual proof that it was made up. That was just something that someone posted on Reddit today, so don't get around to that. The Verge specifically said that the $50,000 figure is correct. So either The Verge is wrong, which is possible, but The Verge is fairly reputable. So that I also want to point out that was quoted by fucking bbc.co.uk. So that's a reasonable thing. Anyway, in my opinion, if you blew up like that quickly, absolutely you could just want no more of it. Bearing in mind, this guy's made enough money to probably live through the rest of his life, in Vietnam quite easily. He doesn't need any more.
That's what a lot of people have said too.
That's what I'm saying. Look. He can get a nice big penthouse in Saigon. He don't even need to pay attention to those people who are like, give me money. He could have. I don't understand why you would.
Jesse, how on earth do you not pay attention to them? Like, you're the same person, as am I, by the way, that flies off the handle over fucking social justice warrior trolls on Twitter or whatever, or gets upset by things that people post on Tumblr.
But
this guy is literally having his life threatened. Why? You've got to understand. I mean, you must, from your perspective, surely understand.
I understand. I understand disagreements, and I understand hating people who are just infuriating. I get it. I even understand people who hate you, but everyone's always going to hate you, and sometimes they might get to you, but it doesn't mean that, him shutting it down doesn't stop. Like, he had a chance to be very, very successful, and he sabotaged his own success.
He already is.
More successful than he was.
He didn't sabotage his own success. He already has a shitload of money, and he has 2 other games on the iOS store.
He could have had more money. I'm just
you are so fucking American. Jesus.
I mean, it is a little bit different because he did say right from the get-go of putting this game up that he had no intention of ever updating it, like just wanted to put it out into the universe and then just leave it alone.
He didn't. He lied. He's the George Lucas of video games. He messed with his creation. No.
What I'm saying is...
He didn't mess with his creation. It's like all of us who still downloaded it still have it.
What I'm saying is...
Bad Donnie Nugent. Bad.
What I'm saying is it's a little bit different just because we interact with the community and put new things into the universe every day for people to criticize, right? And I wonder if he had just left it up for a while, if it would have blown over.
It would have blown over because things like this always happen all the time. People get all worked up over shit on the internet every day. And that's why I think us should have the
But you
perspective.
don't
of,
have like Vietnamese gangsters threatening to burn you. You know, it's like, come on.
You've never been a Let's Play series.
To be fair, if I made Let's Plays as bad as yours, I probably would get death threats. Yes, but you know,
Vietnamese gangsters are after me every day.
it's the cat lady, isn't it? That's what did it. That's what pushed it over the edge. I can absolutely understand it. Like, and he said something about being addictive. I don't know. I mean, that's a weird idea. I'm not okay with that idea because no, you didn't make an addictive game. Like physically or mentally addictive. You didn't do that. Some people, for some reason, got hooked on that game. I have no idea why, but it's not your fault that they did. Because you did not make a game that, like, 100 or 1,000 other people didn't do before. Like, he needs to, of course, acknowledge the fact that it was an incredibly unoriginal game. He cloned Helicopter, essentially. He used sprites that weren't ripped directly from Mario, but might as well have been traced. You know, they're incredibly similar. And I'm okay with him doing all of that stuff, but then don't say, oh, well, my game was addictive and was ruining people's lives. Like, no, your game's not that important. People would have got over that fact. It's those shitty games have been available for like 10, 20 years on Newgrounds, places like that. So, you know, don't even start with that.
Shit. I actually changed my mind on this entire situation. This guy is a freaking genius.
Oh, here we
Think
go.
about it for a minute.
Here's the
Here we go.
conspiracy.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say, but please continue.
This is a game that, given another week or two, would be dead. Like, people would have, like, all right, it's fun for what it was, and would be dead. By doing this, he created more buzz around a game that would have eventually lost. It's like he made this game infamous now. When before it would have been just a game where people played it, and then it would have faded into oblivion. But now it's an infamous game. I changed it. This dude is the smartest son of a bitch on the planet. My hat goes off to him. He figured it out. This is like when musicians and celebrities, when they die young, they live forever. But when they get old, people are like, God, that's kind of sad. Dude figured it out. He killed his game early, and now it will live in infamy. Boom. Genius. This guy's a straight up genius.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, there's absolutely possible that he may have done that. You could have, but honestly, I don't know about that. I feel the guy definitely was under a shitload of pressure and, you know, was not used to that kind of attention and reacted badly to it. And, you know, this was the result of it, that he took his game down. But also the idea that he wouldn't be proud of that game, and rightfully so, because it's a piece of shit. So, you know, if you're a developer, you don't want to be known for a terrible Helicopter clone. You want to be known for making something good. So now he is at least now in a position where if he develops something good, because that he is now famous as a developer, he will get more attention than he otherwise would have. So now he's got an opportunity to kind of cut that off very quickly and say, no, I'm not proud of this. This is a piece of shit. Here's my new thing that doesn't suck. You know, that actually has some originality. But I don't know.
He did tweet saying that he still intends on making games.
Yeah, he did.
I love chat literally is like, you have no fucking empathy, Jesse. You are the worst human being ever. You made me this way, internet. You made me like this. I had to shut it all down inside because of you.
Jesse did used to be a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and then, you know, apparently he's a horrible sexist pig, so you know, that's probably that did him in. But I'm kind of surprised, Jesse, that you don't empathize with the notion. Because, you know, again, take that stuff, multiply it by 1 billion times over, and consider that it's like almost your first day on the internet. And like you're going on, like you have no idea the horrors that lurk beneath, right? And then fucking everything hits you at once. Everything.
I think I've felt everyone has that moment when they put themselves out there and are immediately shot down. Like, be it a guy who asks a girl out and is just decimated when she's like, no, or
a guy that gets stood up on a date or something along those lines.
Yeah, that'd be really awkward if that happened to someone. So then, or example, like acting, for example, you miss our conversations when we're not on stream, sir.
What?
Who would do that? I mean, how worthless a person would get stood up on a date, really? I mean...
What, that person must just want to die.
Yeah, I mean, that's just terrible. Like, God, you can't even get a person to leave the house and come to a restaurant with you. I mean, that would make you a pretty pathetic human being if that ended up happening.
That would just the worst.
That would be just horribly destructive to your ego. That basically takes your ego and just runs it over with a dump truck. I mean,
So anyway...
But it's a good job that's never happened to anyone here, though, right?
Nope.
No,
Only
not
losers.
at all. Especially not recently. Especially
Nope,
not
only
recently.
Losers. So then like acting, for example, if you go to auditions, you get 1 out of 20 are you actually going to get. Most of the time you're going to get shot down. Most of the time they're going to tell you to your face, you suck, get out of here, or you're not the person we're looking for. So I've been doing this long enough that I getting to the internet, being told that I suck every day on the internet isn't like, every once in a while someone will say something that pisses me off. But most of the time, it just, okay, this person is not a fan, great. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because there are other people who are fans. And that's what I focus on. And I feel like, given time, he would feel the exact, it takes a while. It takes a while to get to the point where you realize not everyone is an asshole, and you understand that people are not going to like you. Even the most famous people in the world, people do not like them, and you do the same thing to people. Like, for me, I will sit there and be like, fucking Justin Bieber, I hate that son of a bitch. But there are people who love him, and it's foolish of me to say, you can't hate me, but I can hate Justin Bieber. Like, it's doesn't make any sense. Why would I say that? So feel free to hate me. I'm okay with that. But I feel like you're right. This all got thrust on him, and he's just sort of like overwhelmed. But everyone has that experience at least once in their life. And if you want to be in the public eye, which a game creator wants his product out there, then why make a game? Why put yourself out there in the form of a game?
Yeah, but you didn't expect like 50 million downloads of it.
Why wouldn't you? If I made something, I want more people to watch it than I thought possibly could. And when people don't, then I'm like, well, I'm sort of disappointed. So I feel like why create something if you don't want people to see it? What's the point?
I think it comes down to degrees, though, because when you make a little game like that, it reminds me, a few years ago, I went to go and do some workshops at a Swedish university that was focused on game development, right? We did a whole bunch of stuff, and I was talking through a bunch of different concepts, and people were bringing me their kind of concepts for games, things like that. And a lot of these guys, especially like in the first year of their course, make an iOS game because it's a really easy thing to kind of test the waters. It's easy to develop for a mobile platform. It doesn't take so much time, and they put it up and they have no expectation of anything out of it, but they need to put it up because they want to maybe get a little bit of feedback and they want to see how the process works so they can then build upon it. They don't think it's a good game, but in this case, this kind of project, which he knocked together in 2 to 3 days, exploded worldwide in a ridiculous way, made him a ton of money, completely unexpectedly out of the blue. So I do not agree with the whole, if you didn't want criticism or you didn't want to sort of be seen, you wouldn't make anything. Because there are massive, massive differences in degrees between that and just getting flooded. No one is equipped to deal with that much scrutiny that quickly. Like, especially up until that point in your life, you've been a very quiet, kind of private person in, a country that a lot of people can't even point to on a fucking map, for God's sake.
But I mean, that happens. Like, sometimes fame is thrust upon you.
Yeah, it's sometimes you win the lottery, but you never expect to. You don't plan your life around that.
But it's about how you deal with the situation, and to just shut down completely, I think that's a misstep.
But he didn't shut down completely. He deleted one of his games. The other two are still up there, and he's still making games, so he hasn't shut himself off completely.
I don't know. It's clearly cultural differences. Like, because of where he's from, it's a totally different culture. So for me to sit here and be like, he's doing it wrong, I can't do that. But I'm going to do it anyway because I don't give a damn.
Glad to see you so culturally sensitive, Jesse. That's great.
What is he going to do? No, he doesn't even know who I am. I'm just a dick on the internet. He doesn't care.
This is why this podcast blows up, and now everyone in Vietnam knows your name, Jesse.
Here's the thing. If it blows up, I'm not going to be the asshole who's like, shut it all down.
Yeah, because you've had like 8 years of experience dealing with the internet. This guy had 3 days.
Next week and be like, hey there, dickheads. And they'll be like, oh, Jesse said his line. I guess that's my line.
That's going to be your line? That's the catchphrase of Sizemore Cox Corporation.
That's the line.
You don't want to be that guy.
Oh, Jesus. You're an absolute arsehole. All right.
Flappy Birds, everybody.
Flappy Bird.
Oh.
Apparently, Flappy Bird causes rage even when we don't play it. So, that's the effect. If you want to shut Flappy Bird down for any reason, you could say that it was a war crime. It caused so much anger and it just made the human race worse. Simple as that.
That is why.
All right, let's do one more news article before we take a break. Dodger.
Huh?
Yeah, Dodger.
Go on. What else has happened this week?
Let's see, I'm trying to remember. What all have we talked about? Oh, God, guys.
Flappy
Now I'm
Bird.
put on the spot.
And McGruff the Crime Dog.
McGruff
That's
the
really
Crime
about it.
Dog.
McGruff the Crime Dog is not relevant to video games, so you don't get to use that one.
That's true.
There
What
was a
else
McGruff
did
video
we
game,
have
wasn't
that?
there?
Was there?
No, don't look it up. Just
We could. I know for a fact that you covered the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, we did. Oh, and the Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon becoming a publisher. That's an interesting one.
what?
They bought
Double Helix.
Double Helix,
Yeah.
the guys who made Killer Instinct.
Yes, they did. Which was a little odd.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's super odd too.
Really?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, because what was Double Helix working like after making Killer Instinct? They're still just working on Killer Instinct, right?
Yeah,
Like
they're
the
working
stuff that
on
they're adding to
the
it.
additional characters for Killer Instinct, yeah.
So Amazon was just like, hey, just bought them.
Yeah, I mean, well, Double Helix was never owned by Microsoft. Yeah,
Right, I
as
guess
much
that's
as
true.
it looks like it is because they took a license which was basically like owned by Rare, which is owned by Microsoft. So it's like you could think that they were a first-party studio, but they're not, and they never were. And now they have been bought by Amazon, which it's actually not the first games developer that was. Reflexive, who was a casual game maker, was bought in 2008, and they do have
really?
their own. They have their own development house.
Have they
Like-
done anything with Reflexive?
That is a great question. I'm not really too bigly. Wow, that's not really a word. I'm not really into casual games. I mean, they've definitely made stuff since. They were bought in 2008. They have released several games since then. Music Catch, Swarm Gold, The Fairy Tale, Costume Chaos, Demolition League. But funnily enough, they actually have only made games up until 2010, and now they just haven't. I'm just not really sure what's going on with that. That's a little bit strange.
So Amazon's trying to make their own Ouya, basically, right? Like a little
Possibly.
compact console. And now they have two different game developers that they have bought. But we don't have any idea what they're working on
Yeah.
or what they intend to work on.
And it's definitely a very strange thing indeed, because it's been fueling rumors, of course, that there's a Amazon console of some sort in the works, right? We already know since April of last year that they were supposedly working on some kind of set-top box, yeah? So some kind of television-connected media device.
Right.
But we don't know exactly what it is. Although, if they are working on it, then the acquisition of two game studios does tend to lead towards the idea that they would be making something that has gaming capability.
Do you think that they panicked once everybody started freaking out about Steambox? And they were like, we got to figure out how to do something different.
The Amazon box? Is that what you're thinking they're gonna do?
No, I mean,
but
it's been pretty much, it's almost been confirmed that they have. They've been working on some kind of set-top box thing.
Yeah. So like now we have so many things that just plug right into your HDMI so that you can play games.
Yeah.
And now everybody's freaking out about Steambox. And I'm wondering if Amazon's like, should we do this? Should we do something else? Like,
Well,
what's-
I think the reason they want to do that is because Amazon's a very big player in the on-demand video market. So
True.
if Amazon can also take control of the television itself, then that's very good for them. Because consider that there's some possible bullshit going on with the idea that if someone else takes it, like say, everyone's fighting over the living room right now. If Apple TV was the thing, then it's not in Apple's best interests to allow Amazon to stream on demand or sell movie rentals when iTunes does that, right? So
Right.
you would want control of that space with your own device, preferably, so that you have a better ability to control what people are watching and what they're watching it through. And they've been doing the same thing with tablets. You know, with the Kindle Fire stuff, they have been really pushing the Prime Video service through that. They have allowed offline viewing with their, like, I think it's the HDX, their more powerful tablet, and things like that. They're doing their own shows. So they're trying to compete with a lot of different people, with Netflix, with Apple and iTunes, and also with tablet manufacturers and things like that. So I guess, you know, games? Makes some degree. Well, that's going to be at Valve, right? Because they've been doing their own digital distribution for ages, and they've now taken on console. They can sell console digital titles on PS4. They've been able to do that now. So I don't know. They're just like, they seem like they're trying to get their fingers in an awful lot of pies at the moment.
Yeah.
I guess the acquisition of a game developer is one way to do that.
You know, I never expected the Kindle to do well.
The original Kindle?
I thought the Kindle was going to just die.
As in the reading device?
Yeah. And yeah, not the just like Kindle
Not the
iPad
tablet.
clone.
Yeah.
But like the normal Kindle, and people still love their Kindles. People still buy newer Kindles.
I've got a Kindle. I read mostly on a Kindle. It's good. It's good for my eyes. I like it. I don't like reading on a backlit screen.
Usually I can figure out like what a company's game plan is. I have no idea why Amazon would buy a gaming. I don't. What would they? I mean, unless they just want to get into a new market. I mean, I don't.
I can't see them like developing games though. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't-
but they must be. I mean, they already have not only that, but they've got that one other thing. There's got like they actually have a game development studio. They were rumored to be working on some kind of RTS at one point.
What?
Oh, shit,
Amazon
you know.
shipping wars.
I was gonna say, it better have some naval combat in that.
Zing. I just can't figure out like maybe there's some other logistical reason or reason besides like game development, but maybe there's something else involved with having a game company or a game studio associated with. I just don't know what the reason is, because I don't know that it makes sense to me. But Amazon, I feel, is just like Google. The two of them are like, let's put our hands in everything, and whatever works, and we'll make a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Okay.
They already
It's
have a very
true, it happens.
They have a very potent digital distribution platform, yeah? One of the biggest. Like, if anyone could say compete with Steam, it would probably be Amazon. They're big enough to do it. Right now, they, for the most part, just sell Steam games, yeah? And often, you can actually get them cheaper than you can on Steam. And I recommend frequently, especially if you're in the US, if you see a Steam sale, go check Amazon, because they might have a better deal. And it makes me think, what's wrong with them developing video games? Valve does it. Valve's effectively a publisher, a retailer, and a developer, all in one. Amazon does a lot of different stuff on its own. Why not? You know, why not? If you're going to be selling digital stuff, why not make your own digital stuff?
Yeah, I guess it's just like a question of whether or not. I guess like with Valve, their focus is games, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like from the get-go, it's been all about games. And with Amazon, there might be some concern that it would be an afterthought. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. But admittedly, if they're just being a publisher and Double Helix just gets funding to do whatever the fuck it wants, then okay. It's weird that I'm now looking at Double Helix and saying, oh yeah, they could make something good, when everything they made before Killer Instinct was absolute tosh. But now that they made Killer Instinct, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. You know what you're doing. As long as you're given the time and the money, apparently you can make stuff that doesn't suck. So,
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh well.
I don't know. Well, that's that anyway. Let's take a break,
Yeah.
and when we come back, we'll round up the rest of the news, we'll do releases, and then we'll try and convince you to watch our YouTube videos. That's
Woo!
what happens. You're watching the Co-optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. I'd say the final hour begins, but we're far past that at this point. We're far past that. But time for a bit more
guess that's
news,
true.
and then we'll have a look at the releases, I think.
Delightful.
You see, here's the thing, Dodger. I put on a 6-minute song thinking, she probably needs to go and eat something. All that meant is,
you know me.
you got to spend more time cooking it, and then you ate it anyway. What the fuck is that, anyway?
Chili?
Okay. We
Dope.
almost always manage
Awesome.
one podcast without that.
No. Oh, we could talk about
Yeah.
the whole Ubisoft abandoning Watch Dogs, but they didn't actually
But
abandon
they
Watch
didn't abandon
Dogs.
it. Yeah. It
Wait,
was
what?
just... It was some weird false flag for the abandonment of,
Somebody-
of their trademark.
Somebody contacted the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and contacted on behalf of Ubisoft, pretended to be
Supposedly.
Yves Guillemot, and was like, yo, I want to abandon this trademark, and like signed for it and everything. And Ubisoft didn't even know until they got a bunch of like messages and letters being like, hey, so it's gone through. You've officially abandoned Watch Dogs. And they're like, huh? So
Dude, that's
They had to go-
incredible.
yeah, they had to go through this whole process, contacting the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and being like, this is a hoax. We did not do this. Even though they have signatures on everything, like somebody legit pretended to be Yves Guillemot, the CEO. And like,
They pulled a Flappy Bird.
They shut it
Like,
down.
oh.
They shut it down.
Shut it down to make it more
everybody will
desirable.
remember this.
Yeah, it's like we just
You know,
cancel
Monty-
Watch Dogs in order to raise the profile of Watch Dogs. Some people actually thought that as well. Like, you guys are out of your minds. Come on, you can't realistically think that
A
that
game about
actually
hacking
happened.
things gets hacked. Boom.
Yeah, but it wasn't hacked. Like, someone called,
Deceptified.
probably from a landline, you know? They may have even sent an actual physical letter, which is about as, like, far from Watch Dogs as you could possibly get.
It's like a handwritten.
Yeah.
I'm definitely Yves Guillemot. I
Delivered
don't
by a
want
horse.
Watch Dogs anymore. Signed, Yves Guillemot. They're like, this is
It's like in
legit.
crayon and all the R's are backwards. Well, it
I'm
seems
French,
like it to
that
me.
is right. This is how we write in France. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, that would be bad. There
That
hasn't
is-
really been a huge amount on the gaming news front, really, has there, this week? This hasn't been for the last few weeks, really.
It's been pretty slow.
It's been fairly
Welcome
quiet.
to the winter.
Yep,
Yeah.
that is the way. That is the way. The last thing is that apparently, as I believe you mentioned, the Uncharted movie is on its way, and supposedly there's
yeah.
yeah. Who is it? Seth Gordon, I think.
The dude that did King of Kong
King of Kong.
documentary,
He's doing what? Directing?
directing it. They've
Supposedly.
switched directors like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
So
That's
now they got the King of Kong guy. Yeah. And they're like, hey, you want to do this movie? And he's like, yep. So
He also did Identity Thief, which was terrible, and Horrible Bosses, which wasn't so terrible. And then King of Kong, which it's kind of a weird choice. I mean, you think perhaps as a result of doing King of Kong, this person might actually have some respect for video games in general and might make a movie that doesn't suck. But the thing is, how could you fuck up an Uncharted movie? It's basically Indiana Jones anyway.
yeah,
So how could you screw that up, I wonder?
casting,
Yes.
bad casting.
Fair. Yeah.
Yes.
We
I
want
don't know who
Shia
they
LaBeouf
cast.
to play Nathan Drake.
Apparently the writer is the guy who wrote Safe House, which is actually a really good movie.
Really?
Yeah, David Guggenheim. I like that movie. The previous script, they rewrote it apparently. The previous script was by the guys that made National Treasure, which, to be fair, would have made sense with Uncharted, I think.
It would have been
Oh yeah,
awesome.
I love National Treasure.
I do
That
too.
movie was
I
great.
can't even lie about it. The first one is fantastic. That is a really good movie. National. Oh man. Now I kind of want the entire cast of National Treasure in Uncharted.
in the Uncharted movie.
Oh god, those
You
eyebrows.
got your blonde Lana Fisher. You got your Nathan Drake.
No.
Yep, that's right. We have a Nathan Drake already.
Beautiful.
Well, I mean, in theory, you
Cage.
can't really fuck this up, but as we've seen previously, yes, you can. So I'm not convinced. It's got to the point where I just don't want to see video game movies ever. It's like, just leave it as a video game. At least I know what I'm getting with a video game. If I go to your movie, it's probably just going to ruin everything. So that's that.
I just love the idea of Nicolas Cage as Nathan Drake. I think that'd be amazing. Just all the women are just so smitten by how attractive he is. It's just Nick Cage. Ladies, just going crazy.
Oh man. Oh dear.
Yeah, the whole making movies out of games feels really redundant since games are like they
Becoming
feel like
movies.
they're very cinematic experiences anyway. So
Yeah. It's like, can you make
why?
an Uncharted
wet
movie
water.
that kind of deals with the story better than the Uncharted game? I mean, the Uncharted game is chock full of what are basically QTEs, cinematic action sequences and cutscenes.
Yes.
Huge amounts of them. It's like, well, okay, so what's the point in making a movie about that? I can understand making a movie about something that doesn't have that kind of stuff in it. To some degree, I would still love to see a properly made Deus Ex movie. I think that would be pretty good. Potentially. It will most likely suck, and I hope they never do it, but it could be okay. But Uncharted was already a movie to begin with. So...
And that's what they touted.
Here?
Like, if you remember the commercials that were for PlayStation
They did,
3 when
yeah.
they had those, they said, like, it's just like a movie. And it does seem weird that that's what they would bring to the big screen is a game that was like a movie, maybe because it's an easy transition. But there are plenty of other games that would serve better to have a story attached via movie. Like, we just take a moment to appreciate the classic that was Mortal Kombat. And how that worked great in a movie.
I loved the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Right? It worked so well as a movie because you were like, I know this guy and I know this guy, and now I see they're fighting, and it was wonderful. And you know, I don't know.
I do think it translates best either with fighting games because everybody loves watching two people have well choreographed fights, and then also games turn into movies when the game has a really rich world and you're not able to really experience everything, and they can take those pieces and turn it into a movie.
Yeah.
Spoiler, almost nobody's done that to its full potential, but that's okay.
No.
I think that there is potential there for a good movie.
That's a really weird. You're absolutely correct. That's a weird statement about movies and video games. Usually, it's a retelling of a certain part of the game. When it's like, why would I want to see that again? You made
Pointless.
this massive world, and that's kind of like minor fear I have about the
In
Warcraft
the 90s,
movie.
that made sense because games
Yeah.
look like shit. So, like,
Right.
okay, right. Seeing a Mortal Kombat movie kind of makes sense because the game looks awful. Kind of the same with Street Fighter. I know I just said Street Fighter looks awful, but I'm talking about, like, fidelity-wise and technology-wise.
Right.
Obviously, it stands the test of time, but now you can make something that looks, like, so damn good and realistic that there's no desire to then go and see that at the movies. You know? It's the idea of, a Mass Effect movie. That wouldn't be cool. Like,
Plus, it's so big and like they would have to do what they did with the Lord of the Rings movies, where they still cut shit out of it and characters completely out of it, but they were 3 hours long, and there were
Yeah.
three like that can you can't. Many video games are so in depth, just like many books. Making them into good movies is an impossibility. A lot of time, book movies suck, and they have to change. Like even Jurassic Park, which I loved, the book is still way better. Like it's infinitely better, and half the book is totally different. It's like one of those things where it's in order to get. I don't know. I many games that have good stories to make it into a movie, changing so many things would just not fly with me. Especially since it's already a movie, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. Book to movie, book to cinema makes so much sense. Because we go from words to visualization.
exactly, yeah. But then you go from visualization to visualization, which is like,
Yeah.
no, I don't see that one happening. And you always see less as well. I know people have, for some reason, been like hyped about the idea of a Mass Effect movie, but you could never visualize all those locations in a 2 to 3 hour movie, and it would end up being a 2-hour movie because the sheer cost of it all. You get to travel all across the galaxy in the Mass Effect series and see all manner of amazing aliens and places, and you wouldn't get that in the movie. I can almost guarantee it. You'd see a fraction of that. They'd probably base it on the Citadel, and then maybe you'd see one other planet, and there'd be some space shit, and that would be it. And that would just be a poor experience. And they'd probably have that stupid sword guy in it or something. I don't know.
I feel like that's the problem, but it also hasn't been done, which I think is weird because in a movie like that, if you did a Mass Effect movie and you focused on one side story that had nothing to do with the main characters, that could work out really well. The problem is they wouldn't do that because somewhere someone's going to be like, well, we want to see our shepherd.
They'd try and do too much in 2 hours, and it would end up just spreading itself far too thin.
And like I was about to say, like that's my fear for the WoW movie is that that's what it will end up being. Like, I hope it's a story that is untold, but I'm convinced it'll be, we're going to retell the beginning of the first game, like what led up to the first game. And that's fine and all, but if they do it well, great. But there's an entire world they created where even you are playing as a character in that. Like, there's so much they could have done there, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's great, but it's one of those things where there's so much potential for a world they created, and it's like we're gonna see an 18th of that.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. I think it would be cool if, like with something like Mass Effect, where it's just like too much, if someone were to make like a mini series, like different stories in each movie, and they were up to like maybe an hour, and just like little stories from a bunch of different places, and maybe it would be even just a YouTube show. I don't know. I think something like that would be really cool, but again, costly.
Mass Effect, the YouTube show.
Costly. Yeah.
Can we make Mass Effect sock puppets? And just be like,
Yes. It'll be like Potter
Stop
Puppet
cinema.
Pals, except with Mass Effect.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend not doing like a Mass Effect fan series. Considering for the last 30 years, people have been trying to make good Star Trek fan series, and they've pretty much, in all possible circumstances, failed monumentally. I would not recommend something more complicated than that. Although I'll give credit, there was actually a very recent episode of some the 30th attempt at this or whatever. And it was actually all right. Like, they got the lighting right, the set was right, most of the main characters sounded good, but they also, what annoys me about those series is like, hey, I'm Captain Kirk. No, you fucking not. And I think even that Mass Effect thing, regardless of what happened, whether it be a fan series or full-on movie, would have the same problem. It's like, that's not my Shepard. My Shepard didn't sound like that.
But that's what I'm saying, is it wouldn't involve any of the characters that you know. It would literally be an exploration of areas.
And they'd never do that. That's the problem. That would be good, but they wouldn't get people into the movie because people want to see Shepard and Liara and Rex and all that. That's who they want to see.
Yeah, can I say? I just want to ask a question to everyone here. I'll start with my partner in crime, Mr. Sizemore. Favorite video game movie ever? I have a theory. I just want to get this proved. Favorite video game movie ever that was? Only one. Pick one.
Theory. You have a theory
about all of our answers are going to be. What is your favorite?
If you've got a theory about what our answers are going to be, Jesse, you need to write that down first to see whether or not you.
No. It's not about like what your direct best favorite is. It's why it's your favorite.
All right,
is my theory.
Okay.
I need to see a list here of like I can't, now that I'm put on the spot. I can't really
You're
think.
on the spot.
I will give you a list of video game movies. Here we go.
Dodger, what's your favorite? Do you
Yes,
remember?
circle back
Silent
to
Hill.
me.
There you go.
Silent Hill's your favorite? Okay. TB, do you have a favorite?
Silent Hill,
Perfect.
actually. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. Silent. You
a high five,
why
not
did
a slap.
You just hit me.
It was a high five, not a slap.
No, it's fucking horrible. So, yeah, definitely Silent Hill, and I guess we'll justify our decisions in a minute.
I want to hear what your reasoning is. Can I actually? What are both your reasons behind that?
All right.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I think that Silent Hill is super visually cool. I think the acting is abysmal. I rewatched it not too long ago and I was like, damn, so bad. But I really loved the aesthetic of the movie. I thought that they captured it really well. And I think that it's very interesting to watch. So that's why it's my favorite, honestly.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of a similar reason in that the aesthetic is fantastic. The actual visual effects are excellent. But I think the strength of it is that it stands up not only as an adaptation of Silent Hill, but also as a movie on its own. As in, if you did not know about Silent Hill, you had no idea you went to see this movie, it would be a fairly solid movie for you.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I think that that's the real test. Can it stand alone from its license, but does it still pay tribute to the license? And most movies don't. Like Resident Evil, you can say whatever the hell you want about them. They're dumb movies, incredibly dumb movies, but they're still kind of fun to watch. Do they actually pay tribute to Resident Evil? Fuck no, not at all. They might as well not even be Resident Evil right now, and that's been the case for several Resident Evil movies. But they're still enjoyable, schlocky action films in a time that kind of know what they are. They don't take themselves too seriously, and we have way too many movies that do these days. So I appreciate Resident Evil for that. And Silent Hill's kind of the same thing, but I think that Silent Hill actually stands on its own as well, which is quite impressive.
What do you think, Luke? What would you say your favorite is? Your favorite
Out of all these terrible movies,
keep in mind, yes, they're all very, very like. There's not been a very good video game movie. They're all very bad. What is your favorite?
I don't. This is so tough. I know this is not like
Mario
life or
movie.
death.
Just say the Mario movie.
You ruined my theory.
I can't say the Mario
movie.
All right.
I almost said the Mario movie because it's just so silly.
Fucking terrible.
I hate myself saying this right now, but I'll go ahead and say Hitman. I hate myself saying it, but
Okay.
Here you go. Here you go. A lot of people would agree with you on that, and they would say that Hitman was a good video game movie. And I think TB hit the nail on the head with the idea that it doesn't have to be good acting. Acting in video game movies is often very bad. It doesn't have to even be that great of a story, but as long as it captures the feel and essence of that world, people are like, "Oh, that's a good one." And the majority of video games, I think that it I mean, I think its story was awful, but I think it captured the essence of.
It captured the character. That's all I felt that it captured well, which I think is why I'm saying it very reluctantly. But yeah, I liked who portrayed him versus like let's take God, I can't think of his name, but homeboy who played Max Payne. That
Mark Wahlberg
capture.
was that?
Oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Max Payne was, but again, Max Payne.
It didn't capture the essence of the world.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was from that world. It felt like we're gonna take the slow down time aspect and put that in a movie and then call it Max Payne. And that's
but it wasn't just that though, because they went crazy with it. Like if they just made a noir movie, they might have got away with it, but they didn't. They had the whole fucking the angels and the demons and fucking supernatural shit all over it. That's what ruined it.
And then they said like, oh, but it's just the drugs though. That's not real. Yeah, there's a lot where they keep having to say like, let's make it a little bit different for it. I've said this many times. Video game movies suffer from two fatal flaws. Either one, somewhere along the lines, they convince themselves they need to make the game for the audience that plays the game, which means it won't do well generally.
Yeah.
Or they convince themselves they need to make the game for the general public, in which case it doesn't do well at all because it alienates the fans, and the general public's like, what the fuck is this shit? And there has to be a way to make it so everyone's happy, and I think it's take the world, take the vibe, but make it a different story that is not connected. It just like a book, like a Star Wars book or something, where it's not connected to the main story, but it exists in that universe. Suddenly you have something else that it's expanded universe. No one's willing to do that, which is why TB's right. If there was a Mass Effect movie, it would be like, let's get our characters that people love and let's cast them because people want to see them on the big screen. It'll be atrocious, but people will see it, and that's sad. That's the way. Like even Doom, they went out of their way to like, let's include this and this and this. Oh, and we'll do a first person thing in there too, which by the way was the best part of that movie.
Oh my God. Yeah. When it went first person in Doom, I was in the theater. It was just me and my buddy. We were the only ones in there and we were like, oh, it was so awesome. Anyways.
But it's that kind of thing. Like the movie has jack shit to do with Doom except that one moment, and that's the cool moment, right? And so I feel like that's the thing that people should focus on more, is giving us the experiences here about what we want from that movie. Make us feel like this is part of that world. That's all I'm saying, because those are the ones that people remember. Even if it's a shitty movie, at least we'll remember it. Just
with people making adaptations of games, another thing that I just thought of is that a lot of the in-game models are based off of real actors who are voiced by completely different people. Yeah. So it's like, why not just cast the person? I don't know. There's
because
just
apparently if you don't have fucking Mark Wahlberg in your movie, then it doesn't sell. Well, although if you look at the earnings for the Max Payne movie, you will see a fairly dismal figure right there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I hate that. Yeah, and Max Payne, I guess, is like what Jesse was saying. It went exactly right off of the very first game, the plot.
And then threw some weird shit, visual shit in there for no reason, because apparently just making a noir movie isn't enough.
Yeah. When I think of Max Payne in terms of like in terms of style, like of another movie, I think of like Sin City or something like that. Like it's just super dark. Like when I played Max Payne, I literally felt like I needed to take a bath. I just felt dirty. I was like, this world, there's just germs. There's bacteria. People are the bacteria. It's just, I felt dirty. Max Payne watching the movie.
It's very strange to me that they would go that route of like trying to make it feel supernatural when they could have easily have done what they did in Dread, which was just like, oh no, drugs mess with you, dude. Like drugs make time slow down.
Dread
they could have
is
done
such
that
a good
so
movie.
easily, and they just did it. They were like, oh no, like when you get super high, angels come and suck you out windows. It's like, what the fuck? Like it's Valkyrie, man. You're on Valhalla or whatever they call the drug. It was like, shut up. This is stupid.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Guys, you should all see I, Frankenstein. It's a really good movie.
No.
Said nobody ever.
Yeah. Fuck that idea. Alright, let's move away from this onto upcoming releases, shall we?
Yay.
It's slightly less depressing.
Do we have a release list ready, or?
We do. I will post it for you right here. Let me go. Alright.
Huzzah!
Well, I
Okay,
think we know
guys.
what's coming out first. The thing that Jesse loves.
Wait, I have to, hold on.
What the fuck?
Okay, I'm back.
What the shit was
I'm
that?
sorry. Okay, so first thing today, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Jesse, hold up your book.
Cat girl, lightning. Cat girl, lightning.
Dope. Hold it close, Jesse.
Sick.
Fan service waifu bullshit.
Oh no, you want to see the fan service? Hold on.
There's something worse than that. Oh, God.
Bunny
No,
girl?
no. The entire last section of this book, this strategy guide, is literally it's like just pages of costumes. Just like, look what she can dress as.
I
Shut
hate
up.
Japan.
No, I
Shut
love that
up.
shit. Oh my god, that's the best.
No.
Look,
You're-
I did costume design for long enough that I live for that shit. I love it
My
so
favorite
much.
part is the front
That's
of the
probably what
book.
it's made for.
The front of the book has the front of lightning, right? The back of the
Oh,
book.
the
guess
back
what
of
it
lightning?
has?
Booty, 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 booty.
Oh wait, that's the cat girl again. Hold on, I keep flipping to that page. I'm not sure why.
It's sticky.
Show me the bunny girl. You said she's dressed up as a bunny?
Oh, she can dress as a bunny. Yeah.
Yeah, show me that.
Hold on, let me find a bunny. There's so many. Oh god.
I'm sorry,
That's her
we
as
went from
that's her
booty
as
to
a
bunny.
dragoon. That's her as a thing. That's her as a dragon's blood. She can be a red mage, and then she can be a bunny.
Oh god damn it.
Fucking hell, Japan.
She can be a bunny.
Oh, she can also be a chocobo too, which is just I don't even
All right.
understand anymore. I don't even understand. Here's the thing. I don't understand what any of that has to do with the series. Mind you, this is the third in a series of 3 games. I don't know what her ability to change outfits has to do with any of the plot points leading up to this
Probably
point.
nothing.
It is nonsense. Just the worst. But a lot of the reviews have said here's weird. Some of the reviews are like worst game ever, and then other ones are like best Final Fantasy to date. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. So aggravating.
Oh goodness. Well, next up is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, which just showed up in the mail as we were doing this podcast.
Ah.
What? I don't even know what the shit that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we talked about last week.
Yes.
I thought you were
Yeah.
We
insane.
talked about that last week. I need
Danganronpa.
to download that as soon as we're done here, actually.
The only escape from this shocking killer game is murder.
What? Doesn't make any
Stupidest.
sense.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I'm a man who has a book with lightning in it. And I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, I'm so excited. I was so jazzed when we showed up. Anyway.
I just
that's
wanted.
where-
I love the fact that this is just contributing to the ever eroding madness of slow beef in the channel. This is just wonderful.
Next up is Tokiden, The Age of Demons for Vita and PlayStation
I
Network
also
Vita.
want that maybe. I don't know though because
Maybe.
it's by the people that make
Probably,
Dynasty
actually.
Warriors.
Yeah, dog.
But it's fairly well rated so far, I gotta say. It's apparently Monster Hunter meets Dynasty Warriors with demons.
All my
That sounds like my
Dynasty Warriors
shit.
games are good rated to me.
Combat is
so-
very simple. It's like Dynasty Warriors through and through. Just fucking hit the button, apparently. I don't know. I think Danganronpa might be the stronger release this week. We'll see.
Next up is Wolf Fang for PlayStation 3 Network.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it. It is
At first
also
I thought
a
it
Japanese
was called Wolfgang, and I was like Wolfgang Amadeus.
So apparently, yes, it came out in 2010. What? Okay. Right. Yeah. It was an arcade game. Really old one, 1991. It's mecha, like old school Japanese mecha. It was the sequel to a game called Vapor Trail Hyper Offense Formation.
God damn it.
And was followed up by Skullfang Gurga Gaiden. It's Japan. It's all Japan.
It's Japan.
Yes.
Japan.
So it's a run
I
and
want
gun
to go to
shooter.
Japan so badly. I want to just
I know,
live
Jesse.
there. I just want to live there, and I want to just experience all of it. Because I imagine you'd never be the same. I imagine you would come back a changed person.
I know I said that I would visit Japan with you, but I feel like maybe it's best if you go on your own.
Here's the thing. I would need you to come get me out of trouble. I need someone else there to come help me, because I feel like I will be spending a lot of time in prison, in Japanese jail. They'll be like, "Sir, we said no," but I was like, I saw it on the TV. That's what you could do.
I'm gonna pop on over to the maid cafe. 30 minutes later, I'm in jail. Could you come get me?
The next game on the list is also anime bullshit, as it turns out.
One Piece Romance Dawn, the Dawn of Adventure. It's part of the One Piece anime.
But it's Romance Dawn. How can it also be the Dawn of Adventure? Perhaps it's a romantic adventure.
Romance is the adventure, my friend.
How would you know?
That's for 3DS.
True.
Oh no,
Romance is dead. It's gone.
Oh, there it is.
TXK, which appeared. Oh god, it's a remake of Tempest 2000. Oh fuck, why?
Let's move on. Gunslugs for PlayStation Network Vita.
Gunslugs. So is that like Metal Slugs or?
That's
No, it's Gunslug. They're slugs.
Oh no, they are literally slugs with guns.
That's what what did I just say?
Used to be an iOS game. Yep. Now is this just fucking? No, they're not slugs. No, it is apparently the most fun, chaotic arcade action game you'll find on any platform. I'm looking at it, and I beg to differ on many fronts. It's actually it's a pixel art arcade run and gun game, basically.
Okay.
I don't believe there's any actual slugs involved.
Next up is Far Cry Classic for PlayStation 3 Network and Xbox Game Store.
Yep, so the old one, basically.
It is
All right.
not like Far Cry 3, so don't expect it to be like it. If you're like, I'll get that. It's not even remotely like it, so don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is Blowout for PlayStation 3 Network.
It's a PS2 classic, if I recall correctly.
And then
also a running gun game, funnily enough.
Oh, interesting. Next up is Fort Defense for PlayStation Network Vita. I don't know what that is.
I can't imagine it's all that good if it's got the name Fort Defense.
It's probably Tower Defense.
But with forts.
Both forts.
Supposedly, you engage in incredible sea battles.
Oh.
And defend
And why
your
isn't
fort.
it called Sea Defense?
Well, one assumes that your fort is by the sea.
Boo!
And
They're just like ships, just like swimming toward your fort. You're like, stop, get out of here.
Yeah, it does seem like it's. It was on the App Store as well. Vita's getting a lot of stuff from the App Store these days, which is strange. But yes, defend your thing against the pirate armada. Blah 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 blah. Another TD.
Next is Pac-Man World for PlayStation 3 Network.
Yep.
It's Pac-Man World.
Pac-Man.
Zombier for PlayStation 3 Network.
If you want to know what that game is, imagine I made a video game. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
It's a game where you kill zombie high school girls with giant boobs that come after you and do dances and like flirt with you, and then you fire beer at them. And you have to Zombier, you drink it to not be a zombie. Like you drink beer not to be it's literally the stupidest idea. Just imagine that I made a game one day and was like, we need beer and tits, and that's it.
Boobies. Beer, boobies, and another zombie game.
That's it. That's
Good,
that game.
gotta do well.
Well, I just got to see giant zombie tits. That's enough internet for me for one day, I think.
Wow.
But Skullgirls.
Yeah, last up today is Skullgirls
Skullgirls.
Encore for
Indeed.
PlayStation 3 Network.
Good. I believe that, I assume, is the re-release after it got taken off.
They had to take it down.
Because
yeah.
of some Konami. Was it Konami that did it? Something like that. I think it was Konami's fault.
Is it Konami?
I think it was Konami's fault.
Whatever their big company was that they were working with was like, stop. And we're like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff going on with that.
Tomorrow we have World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition for Xbox Game Store. I keep wanting to say Game Show, and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah,
That's
they
wrong.
call it Xbox Game Store now, not Xbox Live Arcade. So,
Yeah.
There you go.
February 13th, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe for 3DS.
Another Mario game? Oh my god! Yes.
I
So
assume
exciting!
I assume that's just a DSware or whatever. Yeah, it's a remake of the
that?
1985 Mario game. It's actually it was from fucking Game Boy Color. Like they've just released a Game Boy Color game of the 3DSware because they do that virtual console thing. So yay!
Not a fan.
Could not give a shit.
Oh, and we were referencing Metal Slug
We were.
earlier. February 14th, Metal Slug 3 for PC.
Yup.
And Echelon Book 3 for PC. Lots of threes.
Not the threes. Yep.
3 PC.
Yep.
February 18th, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare for Xbox 360 and Xbox One. That's the first person one, right?
Third person.
Yes.
For third person, yeah. You're a third person vegetable just like shooting at
It's
people.
just silly. We'll see if it's any
gonna
good.
be-
I'm waiting for it to
That's
come out on
gonna be
PC.
something. Yeah. And then we've got Tomba 2, The Evil Swine Return for PlayStation 3 Network.
That's a title if ever I've heard one. What the hell?
Yeah, do not know what that is.
Yeah, that was a PlayStation 1 game. That explains that. Yeah, PS1 game.
Okay. And then Earth Defense Force 2025.
Fuck yeah.
for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
That's a video game right there. Still not coming out on
Very
PC, which
excited.
upsets me greatly.
Yeah, what the heck?
The only Earth Defense Force they released was the bad one, so there's that. One hopes that they will be able to release it on PC because that game is amazing.
Next up, Strider for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 Network and Xbox One.
Yes, the remake of Strider, which was actually being remade by Double Helix, if I recall correctly.
Oh, Jesse seems upset about it.
No, I
Strider?
just don't. I didn't play the original. So when I heard it was a remake, I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I went into werewolf form.
side-scrolling platformer. It was pretty popular when it first came out, but yeah, they're remaking it for whatever reason. So that's out very soon.
And last up on the 18th is Banished for PC.
Yes, Banished, which is somewhat like Settlers for the most part. I do.
Oh, I have heard of that game. So you're a bunch of guys who are banished from your
Yes.
tribe or whatever, and you have
Yeah.
to restart society. Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard
I
of that.
actually do have that, so I'll be trying to shoot to get a video out before the 18th. But it looks okay.
Science.
It's a city building game, and Lord knows we have been starved of good ones of those lately. So, yeah.
But that's it until next Tuesday.
Yep, that would be it.
Those are the releases.
Yep, good time to wrap
Yep,
up the
boy.
show, I think. So, before we go, we would, of course, like to once again thank you for watching the Co-optional podcast, but we'd also love for you to watch our videos. So, Mr. Luke Sizemore, where do they have to go, and what have you got coming up?
Go to youtube.com/Yungtown. That's spelled YUNGTOWN. And I got coming up, I'm doing some review-esque videos, more parody stuff, of course, along the way. Don't want to spoil it. But the review-esque stuff, I'm doing an old basketball game from the Xbox, GameCube, PS2 era, NBA Street Ball Volume 2. It should be a fun video. I'm going to create some fun characters, pin them against each other. It's going to be more than just your standard review. But yeah, check out my channel for parody content, usually commentating on the YouTube reviewing world.
It's a bit meta,
itself. Yeah, a lot of meta. I actually, I don't know if you, TB, and Dodger caught it, but in a video, there's a nudge. There's a nudge to.
Do we have to watch through your entire back catalog to find it, or are you going to tell us which one it's in?
No, not at all. It's one of the earlier ones. It's the Sonic removed from Smash Brothers. It's it's the Daily Bite parody, if you will.
Oh, dope.
So check that out. All right. But yeah, for everyone else, I do music content. I have some video game music stuff, which is pretty good, and other random stuff. So don't go to my channel if you're looking for anything cohesive, because it's not. Oh yeah, okay. Thank you guys for having me on the show. It's been a ball, and
of course,
come true.
Thank you for letting us harass you while you're on the show.
Thanks for letting us make porn jokes the second you got here.
But you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Gay porn. How about that gay porn right there?
Oh God. Look. We start and finish the same way.
Someone's got to make it. Might as well be me. That's the American way.
It took you so long to finish, but there you go. Jesse, what's
it takes me a while.
Channel? Probably not.
You set me up, TB, and I nailed it. It went out of the park. The lights are shattering, and I'm just. That's me going around the bases. All right, hi.
That got very weird. All right, Jesse.
This week is this right here. This little lady. Me and this lady are gonna have some fun together.
Oh, dear.
This may be the last Final Fantasy game I ever play. I am gonna let you know right now. I have not enjoyed a Final Fantasy since 2006, and I don't know if I can wait for Final Fantasy 15. I can't even. This is my last best hope. So, yeah, that's it. But tomorrow, like at 9 a.m. or something, the video I made for Titanfall is coming out. So that's when the PR, whatever the thing is done.
Oh, so that's the event you went to, then.
Yes, so that is that you'll have that footage tomorrow, or I guess if you're watching this on the VOD, it already exists. And I just want to let you guys know, I was really fucking good. You guys bitch and moan that I suck at video games. I'm way better than other Let's Players. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It was a bunch of us there. I decimated, and I have the footage to prove it. And it's me. Angry Joe sat next to me, and he was getting his ass kicked, and it felt so good. It felt so fucking good. So. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just watch the footage. The footage speaks for itself, guys.
Was it on PC or was it on Toy?
It was on Xbox One.
Toy. Okay.
And I suck at controller. So it means that everyone there sucked at controller. I felt bad because everyone was like, I can't wait till it's on PC, but everyone had to play with the controller.
Oh,
it was really awkward.
I would have fucking hated that.
Yeah, but it's actually a very, very fun game, but I do have just watch the video. I have some criticisms that I think are
I was going to say you can't actually talk about that stuff because you're embargoed, but
there's some criticisms that are very valid that I talk about that I just did not like. But there's also a lot of stuff that I loved. Tomorrow 9 a.m. it'll be up. 9 a.m. I don't know what time. Hopefully Eastern because that's when I'm putting it live.
And he never gets invited to an event again.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
All right, great. Dodger, what's coming up?
What's up, guys? We only have one man left in Always Remember Me, so we're doing that, and it's gonna be good. I'm gonna be starting some new games because we finished Wolf Among Us. We're about to finish Always Remember Me, so I'm looking into some other games that you guys have suggested that I play that are all ridiculous, and I love you for it. But yeah, my gaming channel is youtube.com/pressr to continue. My vlog channel is youtube.com/dexterity bonus. And I drink coffee and talk about my cats for 10 minutes every day. So go ahead and come hang out with us. We bathed one of my cats and filmed it. She looked so sad.
That's some high quality non-content for you.
And no, Krender and I were talking about this. It doesn't count as non-content if you edit it.
Oh, okay.
It's non-content if it's just one shot of nothing. Like there was a 2-minute video that I made once of just Watson's face, and I put that up. That's non-content. But if I make a video of bathing my cat and I edit it a bunch, that's work. That's suddenly work. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I just wanna. Can you see her outfit there? That little it's not even an outfit.
I mean, we mostly saw the chocobo, but that's okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm
Yep.
in preschool and the teacher is reading to me.
Tell
I
me
hate
when. Tell me
Japan
when.
so
There
fucking
it is,
much.
there it
There
is.
better not be any of this bullshit in
trying.
Danganronpa, otherwise I'm gonna get upset. There probably will be.
I don't think there. Well, I don't know. There might be. I don't think there is though. But anyway, yeah, that's what I do on all of the social medias. I'm Dexbonus, DEXBONUS. So feel free to come and hang out with me. And that's it.
Well done. Alright. What do I got coming up? Videos. Banished, probably. I always list the stuff that I'm looking at doing, then I end up doing completely different stuff. So I think it's not even worth me telling you.
Thank you for adopting the Jesse Cox mentality of like, look, just come to my channel, see what the shit I do.
Stuff will
If you don't like
happen.
it, get out.
Because there are days where I think I'm going to sit down and do this game and it ends up being a completely different game because something just didn't click or whatever. It's like I'm sitting down doing Horizon and I'm just slogging my way through hours and hours of tutorials and the game's interface is just... Ugh. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's do something else, let's do this game or whatever. So, I'm not going to promise any WTF is because it's not worth it. All you need to know is there's going to be like 5 or 6 next week, as there is like every other week now. Content Patch is back, an episode will be out tomorrow. I recorded that before the show, so that's all done. So there'll be more episodes of that. There's going to be more episodes of Hearthstone. There's the round of 4 battle between me and Shinobi, I believe, for the Hearthstone tournament, which I thoroughly expect to lose because he actually, beat people legitimately. So I'm probably going to get crushed, but I'll do what I can. We're working on trying to do a Skulls of the Shogun multiplayer video, because 1, I never got around to it, and 2, I actually have 200 keys to give away for that game. So I'd like, all right, let's do a Skulls of the Shogun multiplayer video, because that game was actually kind of good, and it didn't get anywhere near as much attention as it deserved, so we're going to fix that. I'm going to be doing that with Northern Lion, for those who are asking. And I might do a video on Galactic Starfighter. I might have to play a bit more Tor in order to actually get a proper opinion of that together, because I only really have basic impressions of it so far. And aside from that, Shoutcraft Clan Wars is coming in the next couple of weeks. I was going to announce the date today for the first show, but apparently I have to wait till tomorrow to announce that because of some last-minute stuff. But I will be announcing that, and I will keep you posted as to what's going on with it. And I think... is that it? I think so. Yeah, so far. I think that's pretty much it for the next week or so. And eventually, co-optional plays will happen.
Dope.
Yeah, one day.
When will that happen? It will eventually.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse, apparently the Starbound wipes have ended, so we should probably do that again.
Good. Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that moment.
Yes, waiting for them to finally stop that shit. But yeah, it's been dealt with. And Blood Bowl should be happening this week. We're waiting for Lumen to get back from his honeymoon, basically. Honeymoon. Wow. Okay, Freudian slip there.
Yep.
Regardless. That's the third production from Sizemore Cox Studios right there. Honeymoon.
That
There you
probably
go.
already exists.
It's got to
I'll get
exist.
The
It's gotta
honeymooners
exist.
Too good.
already exist. It has to. It
Yeah,
has to.
pretty
It's too
much.
good.
Yeah, we were waiting for Lumen to get back from his honeymoon, and I believe that has now happened, so we will be back on that. And that's pretty much about it. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Pretty much it.
Sit.
No.
That's what it sounded like you were saying. Sit.
Yeah. I'm going to leave now. The rest of you can hang around if you like, but I'm going to
good.
press
All
the
right.
button that says stop the show. Thank you very much for watching the podcast.
Bye,
Please
everybody.
follow us on Twitter at The Logical Places. Follow us on YouTube.
It's down below.
Down below, right there. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.